We're live.
Hey, all you cool combatants! It's the I don't even remember the number.
It's 189. I'm the pothead here.
It's 189 of the Fake Nerd Podcast. We're all just at home.
Still.
Yep.
I mean, I have my job back.
Continuing the Corona saga,
Kinda.
Continuing the Corona saga. It's me, Sparks Whitty, and my friend Ryan Eliopoulos.
I'm excited to be here.
Who's not sick of me yet.
Not yet.
And Brandon McClure.
Hi.
You forgot the T.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Brandon T. McClure.
Oh, man.
And Ben Magnet.
You know what I wish? I wish all you guys could just get over here.
Just give me 10 minutes.
You know what? I'm not going to do it now that you're so aggressive about it. God, dude.
Would you please enter my vicinity?
Play hard to get. As always, hello, Just Rican.
Hi, Just
How's it
Rican.
going, Rod?
Thanks for stopping by, bud.
Yeah, we are. We're back. You made a mistake, Sparks. I'm not in my home. I'm in a new home.
You're in a home?
It's also my home. I moved in the last 2 weeks, which is why we couldn't do it last week for multiple reasons. But
yeah,
we're back this week.
Mm-hmm.
How's your new pad?
It's good. It's coming along in a lot of boxes in the living room right now. But I got my own office space, which I'm recording from here. Get a little privacy instead of the ruckus of my bedroom / living room / family room that I had last time.
Yeah.
The all room.
The all room studio apartment I lived in.
The all-encompassing room. There is no
other.
Yeah, big upgrade. Went from a studio apartment to a 3-bedroom.
Nice.
That is a 200% upgrade.
Yeah, so I'm really, really excited to be here. I had a quite the interesting couple of weeks though.
Yeah.
So who wants to go first about what they did for the last 2 weeks?
I vote Ben.
Ben, you're up.
I've been outvoted.
You got 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Well, I got a lot of video gaming stuff done. I guess the biggest thing that I finished is I finished Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Nice.
The game is beaten. I have a bunch of side stuff I could do, but I want to give Ryan the chance to play it first because also I want to beat other games because I want to get Trial of Mana because apparently someone I went to school with back at mine and Brandon's alma mater, CSUN, she's a voice of a major character in that game. So I play the demo. I love the demo, and the game's getting good reviews, which is good for me. And I told myself I'm not gonna get Trials of Mana until I beat at least 2 more games. Those games most likely being Doom and Nier Automata. So once I beat those, I could finally get Trials of Mana with a clear conscience.
I'm proud of you, Ben.
And also, we, myself, Ryan, Sparks, and even Brandon, we've been playing a whole lot of video games. Played some a whole lot of Battlefront. We've been playing Overwatch.
I lost my TV remote, so I can't turn on my TV. But hey, I have internet.
You have it. That's good. That is very good.
Okay, so that's the thing about smart TVs that I don't understand. Smart TVs need a remote. Obviously not to turn it on. I can still turn it on, but I can't go anywhere because you need the remote. Now, why would they make something so easily lost?
Yeah.
That needed.
I have no idea.
That's awful.
The whole system.
I bet you can't use your TV, but you could download like an app or something silly.
Probably.
Yeah.
Maybe possible.
There's the future.
Wow, if there's like remote apps for your phone that connect to your TV, that
Dude, I can turn my light on with my phone, so it's we're in the future.
My remote is somewhere in a box in the living room. I will find it, but I can't use the TV until I do.
Yeah, I think one of the coolest instances when Sparks and I, it was just him and I. We were put on a Battlefront run together. We were doing co-op, and co-op is a bunch of AI opponents. There was this one run. We were the clones on Camino, and we had to stop the droids from attacking. Sparks and I held shit down. It was freaking glorious. He held one position. We were like the 300 Spartans holding down Thermopylae. Droids were coming at us wave after wave, and we were just mowing them down. I had like 20 kills that round. Sparks had like 25 kills just between the two of us, and we were able to save Camino from the droids. It was awesome.
It was way more kills than that. You and I had that as kill streaks.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So you guys want to talk about the Ewok?
Ewok hunt? You mean the best mode in that game?
Awesome.
Fanny loves that mode. She absolutely loves that.
Yeah,
I never played that before. I haven't played Battlefront in years, and so way before they added that That's incredible. That was a lot.
That's relatively new.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know at home, obviously Battlefront 2 is a shooter you can play with your friends, Star Wars stuff, but Ewok Hunt is a Predator-esque mode where the stormtroopers, it's completely dark out and you just have flashlights and you're just supposed to survive the night, and it's pitch black and Ewoks are trying to kill you, and it's very spooky and it turns into a completely different game. And it's a lot of fun.
Killed by an Ewok, you turn into an
it's like zombies. If you ever played Halo, the old school infection mode,
it's like zombies.
It's like both Ewoks, and when we tried that out, none of us played it, and we immediately all fell in love with it.
That mode alone by description is what made Travis buy it.
We got a friend to buy the game because of that.
I want to say that one of my favorite parts about Ewok Hunt is that there's only 2 emotes you have when you're a stormtrooper. It's a trap and crying.
Yeah, you just always crying.
That is absolutely it. Nothing else happens. It's just a stormtrooper crying and saying, "Oh no, it's a trap." Because there are traps. I've gotten killed by a few traps before.
Yeah, there's booby traps. You can run into them. You get hit by logs or spike traps. Yeah, it's great.
Let's see. Also, it was my girlfriend's birthday last week, so we celebrated her birthday. So happy birthday. I love it.
It's also my mom's birthday. They share a birthday.
Oh,
happy birthday.
Happy birthday. And Fanny got Animal Crossing for her birthday. So she's been playing that. She's been playing that quite a bit. I barely touched it, but eventually I'll probably start hopping on more and going to some islands. Maybe island that one of the people here has, as I'm staring directly at Ryan.
Now that I've quote unquote beaten the story mode, I haven't touched it in a while just because I have so many other games. But when you get to a point where you got a lot going on, then we can hook up.
Yeah, you also have a new one that I just loaned you, and that
yeah,
I freaking love Final Fantasy. I'm not going to spoil anything. That
Ben loaned me Final Fantasy 7 after you beat it. And I just gotta delete 7 games or wait for my new hard drive.
No, guys, Final Fantasy 7 Remake. I cannot wait to see what Square does. It's a great game. I loved it. I mean, I have a few nitpicks here and there, but it's so good, so good.
I'm glad.
Yeah. And besides that, I did my my thing with Downright Nerdy. We actually took the week off last week as well. We just did our episode today for Dragon's Wrath. We're almost to the end. We're gonna finish the final 6 chapters next week, and then the week after we're gonna do a discussion on the whole book. So, woohoo, we got that going for us.
Nice, awesome.
And that's pretty much it. Just been playing video games. Just been going to work, trying to survive and get through coronavirus.
Yeah.
Ryan,
you went back to work this week?
Yeah. They asked me because for those of you who don't know, I worked at a sushi restaurant, pretty popular one in our city, and they've been getting really, really busy with their takeouts. So I went back. I did many positions at that place, but I went back to being a sushi prep. So I'm prepping food 2 days a week now. I'm trying to keep it as low hours as I can so I can get that sweet Uncle Sam money.
Yeah. I've been enjoying that one.
Yeah, I got my first check last week, and I was like, "Oh, is this what it's like?" It's what it's like.
When the stimulus kicked in, I was like, "Ooh, can I not go back to work?
Ooh, yeah, can I just get? I feel bad for people, but
you can't say that because that's exactly what the Republicans are saying. Like why they can't keep
You're
giving
right.
universal basic income because people won't go back to work.
Hey, you're absolutely right. But here's the thing. I would go back to a different job, but I don't want to go back to the one I had.
Yeah, but that's on you, though. That's not government.
Absolutely. Here's what I'm trying to tell the government. I will go back to work, but keep giving me the money.
Well, actually, there is one thing I did get. I haven't started it yet, but I'm actually looking forward to it. Sparks and Ryan, I think you guys know this, but because of like COVID-19 and everything is going to shit, I actually I enrolled myself in a coding class, like a teach yourself how to code thing.
Oh, one of the ones that is really discounted.
Yeah, and because this quiz, it's like it's all your own schedule. You decide when you want to take a class. You decide when you want to do your lessons and everything. It's all on you. You just like pay for the materials and everything. The course itself originally retailed at $2,300. Mm-hmm. I got it for $40. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of that stuff going online.
Yeah. So
Ben, do you need a computer for that?
I'll probably just use my girlfriend's laptop.
Okay.
That'll work.
How old is that laptop? Because if you're trying to code new games, You kind of need a good computer for that, my friend.
I know. Well,
I'm just being real with you.
I know. Okay. The good thing is I have it. It's mine forever. So in case a technical hiccup does happen, there's ways for me to get around it. But that's something interesting for me. So now I can learn a new skill.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, right after you brought that up, I saw that the Disney Co-Delusion program is like doing 2 free weeks for people.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of different online, like film classes, comic classes, like all types of people are like, hey, here's discounted or free shit to help you out.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Yeah. Ben, you anything else?
Nope.
Real quickly, I think we should mention Mainframe Comic-Con.
Oh,
Yeah.
This did happen last week, right? Yeah,
Last
week.
Saturday or Friday.
We were on it last Friday.
Yeah.
We were on last Friday. But I just want to say congratulations to Mainframe Comic-Con. It was a huge success.
Yeah.
They had a lot of...
I'll watch a couple of those streams.
Yeah, they had a lot of really cool guests and Comic Core. If you guys are checking us out, thanks for letting us be on it. And hopefully you guys can keep doing that. That was a really cool thing. Trying to get people out there to a convention even though we can't go to a convention.
Yeah.
Cool.
Next best thing.
Yeah.
And despite being interrupted, we got to do a really cool interview we never would have ever gotten to do before.
That's true.
So I appreciate that as a fan of that guy, of Michael Berryman.
That was Michael Berryman or Michael Barrymore?
Berryman.
Berryman, yeah. I wasn't familiar with the actor, so I was like, I don't have anything to add here.
No, you're cool.
I'll go next because I already started that. Like I said last week, I had this big moved into this place. Lost my cat for a day. That was horrible.
Yeah.
But we found him. He's safe and sound. But I wasn't able to do a whole lot because of everything that was going on with the move and then the cat and everything. But I did finish 2 shows, one a week. I finished Star Wars Resistance. Both seasons are on Disney Plus now, so I finished the 2nd season. That show gets progressively more okay. It doesn't necessarily get better. It just kind of gets more okay.
Ringing endorsement.
Right. Because as Clone Wars and Rebels went on, they got better and they got really engaging. But Resistance doesn't.
Resistance has always felt like the one that was what I feared Rebels would be when they announced it. Which is just like, what if all these like really young kids were doing hijinks in the Star Wars world? And no adult characters tied in, like as part of the crew or anything. It's like the really like kiddie stuff,
like a young adult.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, I'm not here for that. Thank you.
And Rebels luckily wasn't that.
Right.
There was a lot of that, and some episodes are pretty good. Like Kylo Ren shows up for a little bit. General Hux shows up for a little bit. I think there's some good characters like General Pyre is really cool, and Major Tyranny. They're pretty cool characters for the First Order.
Major Tyranny?
Yeah, it's really heavy-handed.
Oh, who was that? The same guy who named Savage Opress?
Maybe. Dave Filoni.
Wait, Dave Filoni controls the show, or
Dave Filoni is the executive producer of the show, but he doesn't have a creative hand in it because he was working on Mandalorian at the same time.
Gotcha.
So, which is honestly why I think the quality fails.
I was about to say, because normally with Filoni, his track record is first season, good, but not the best. Seasons 2 through the end, amazing.
Yeah, and it's kind of unfortunate that I think maybe Resistance had more time to go. They say it was only supposed to be a season, 2 seasons, but there are plot threads that just kind of don't go anywhere, and things are introduced towards the end of the season that are just like by the next episode they're like, never mind.
Yeah,
never mind. We're coming to the end.
I just wish that it was a show that was actually about the Resistance during that sequel era time, and not just about some kids in the Resistance.
Yeah.
But
and
like
more
they're not
part of the Resistance. They're not part of the Resistance because they're trying to run away from the Resistance in the First Order. They're like, we don't want to be a part of the Resistance. So I'm like, your show is titled Resistance.
Is it how they eventually join the Resistance though?
So eventually, towards the end of the thing, they're just like, okay, I guess we can't run away from this fight forever, and then it ends. It ends pretty close to the Rise of Skywalker. So the characters end up at the Battle of Exegol.
Weird.
Yeah,
that sounds really fast.
Yeah, the whole second season is between The Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker.
Huh.
You think there would be some good shit there?
Yeah.
You'd really think, but there's
Wow.
not. Because they keep kind of being like, oh, wait, remember we were a racing show?
Oh,
And they're just
well.
like, we got to do a racer. We got to do a race.
No, we don't.
Yeah,
Remember, we're Star Wars Fast and Furious by DreamWorks.
Star Wars
they were like-
races.
they go to this casino where a hut is controlling the space casino, and they're like, we need to do a race. And I'm just like, you really don't. You could just leave.
I mean, the door's right there. You can just walk through it. I don't see any armed guards anywhere.
But it was fine. It was whatever. But Clone Wars is great. Season 7 of the Clone Wars is incredible. The last 2 episodes were holy shit, you guys. The last 2 episodes of the Clone Wars.
I bet they're great. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I didn't need 4 episodes of all that Ahsoka stuff. Gonna be honest.
Did you watch? Have you watched the last 3 episodes of Clone Wars?
No.
Okay.
I'm sure they tie in, but like, if this is the final season, this is the Game of Thrones situation where like, where's your real estate? Where are you using it?
I think having seen, especially the first episode of Siege of Mandalore, you 100% need those Ahsoka episodes. You need to know where Ahsoka is by the time you get to the Siege of Mandalore.
I'm caught up, and I'll say that I don't think you need the first of those 4. I thought the first episode of that 4 about Ahsoka meeting up with the sisters
That felt
was
like
really
filler,
tedious.
I didn't need any of that.
There. I think the second 2 episodes are pretty solid. Truthfully, I like the Ahsoka stuff. I agree it's not like the best stuff.
I like Ahsoka. I like seeing a different part of Kessel. I like seeing the Pikes more. Yeah. I like all that part. What I don't like is that they escape only to get captured again and have to escape a second time.
Oh my god, that annoyed me so much.
And I don't like the first episode of her meeting the sisters, which makes everything else feel more dragged out.
Mm-hmm. Sure, I won't argue. I won't even attempt to argue that. But the way the arc ends when it leads into that she finds out where Maul is and the Mandalorian coming.
That's all great. That's all great build up for Siege of Mandalore. It doesn't mean that those 4 episodes as an arc are solid enough.
It felt
on their own.
It felt meandering a little bit.
And I understand that, like, as only getting a set amount of stories in this last season, especially when you break it down, it's just 3 stories. Mm-hmm. The Ahsoka one, where has Ahsoka been since she left the Jedi Order, should have felt a little tighter and a little stronger.
Mm-hmm.
It felt more like it's not bad, but it's not what I wanted in this last season kind of thing. Much more like the Jar Jar Binks Mace Windu episodes from the 6th season, where it's like, yeah, this is fine. It's not what I come to Clone Wars for.
Yeah.
And that's a bummer. In the final season, that's a bummer.
I think the issue is when they promoted it as like the final season. The Clone Wars has never been about an overarching season. They've always been about self-contained story arcs. And that's where I think probably it was a little misleading to be like, this is the final thing, but you have the Bad Batch and they have the Ahsoka and then you have the Siege of Mandalore. All are very desperate.
Yeah, I agree, but I still think that the story about where Ahsoka's been between Siege of Mandalore and leaving the Jedi Order could have been stronger.
Sure.
I don't think it's told as well as other things in Clone Wars have been.
Sure. I really like the Siege of not the Siege of Mandalore. Although that's really great. The Bad Batch episodes I really liked. I thought those were really solid.
No, yeah. Again, those first 4 episodes I really like, and then we just go to a completely other area. And I'm glad Ahsoka's back, but I'm like, this feels so separate, and just like, let's just go on a random adventure, and like that'd be cool if this were season 3. It's not. It's the final season. I know it's different for you, Brandon. Like compared, like when I hear the final season, I expect that this is leading into Revenge of the Sith. We see Order 66. This is the finality of the Clone Wars. It should feel like it. It shouldn't drag.
I do want to touch on, just because we're talking about it, like, I know you're not caught up on Siege of Mandalore, but you are. I like the Siege of Mandalore episodes, but something hit me in that 3rd episode that made me go, some of Clone Wars doesn't totally jive with all of Star Wars, and it's acceptable because I like the show, but I all of a sudden went, I don't think that the mistrust of Anakin in episode 3 works anymore with Clone Wars.
No, it doesn't.
He's a competent commander in the last couple seasons, especially according to Mace Windu.
Yeah.
And Mace Windu then goes in episode 3 and he's like, I don't know, Anakin. Yeah. I don't know. And I'm like,
I got the same thing, the same thought when Obi-Wan says to Ahsoka, is like, we can't interrogate Count Dooku. And Ahsoka's like, why not? It's like, because Anakin killed him. I was like, would Clone Wars Anakin kill Count Dooku? I don't think so.
It suddenly felt a little weird.
Yeah.
It suddenly felt like, oh, I don't know that we did all the legwork we needed to.
I've seen some of this discourse online too.
And what it is that I really like that Filoni made Anakin this charismatic, and you can see where people liked him and where he was supposed to be this heartful adventurer. However, I now realize in hindsight, Clone Wars tripped up in the last couple seasons because they should have done more work to build the Anakin falling away thing. And I will say that the Bad Batch episode leans into it because Anakin murders one of the Separatist leaders in the Bad Batch episodes, which is a nice nod to it, but it's not enough because Mace Windu and the other Jedi don't look at him differently because of it. They don't have this sense of like, Anakin, maybe the war's taken you a little far.
Yeah.
There's none of that kind of prelude, and then it's just Revenge of the Sith happens, and it's like,
He's got a grimace.
yeah. So that doesn't land the way I wish it did. And to be honest, it's one of those things where I'm glad that they haven't totally violated the Tartakovsky stuff. You and I have talked about this, Brandon, that you just have to separate the cave story with Anakin from the Grievous capture. And if you separate those two stories, they're totally functional as canon. Yeah. And at least that kind of helps the Anakin build if that cave story happens before the Siege of Mandalore.
Yeah.
But,
I agree.
But I do wish they kind of built more into, especially because Mace Windu is present in the season and not showing any distrust of Anakin at all. In fact, quite the opposite.
I want to put a pin in that because I think there's a longer discussion to be had with Clone Wars Season 7 specifically. And say that I finally watched Neon Genesis Evangelion.
How much of it?
The entire season.
Oh my god! I'm gonna cry, Brandon. That's so happy.
I started and finished it this week.
Ben, you guys got farked. You, look at you. You stupid, Ben.
Ben, it's been 3 weeks.
Yeah, no.
Ben, it's been years.
You said, remember last time you're like, oh, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna finish it. It doesn't count saying you're gonna finish it. You got to do it. Tell me all about it, Brandon.
If I don't know,
well, don't spoil it. I'm only halfway
not
through.
going to spoil
You
anything.
Spoil it, dude.
No, that's true. Because what I was about to say is, nobody told me what the show was. Nobody. I never understood what the show was.
You just know it's robots.
I just knew robots and monsters, and like I've only ever been told that. And watching it, I'm like, holy shit, what is this?
Not about the robots.
And so, like, all the things, like, I've had conversations with my friend Kirk about it. I've had friends with my former roommate Amanda about it, and all I've ever heard was it's like Pacific Rim.
No.
That's all I've ever heard about this show. And so I'm just like, so I go in there and I watch the first episode. I'm like, oh, I could see the Pacific Rim connection. And then after that, I'm like, what the hell?
There's a specific episode where things just change.
Yeah.
Where it's just not the same show anymore. And you probably know what I'm talking about, Brandon. There's something with one of the robots that something happens. And you're like, what is going on? And then the next 2 episodes are batshit crazy.
Yeah, like I was very surprised that not every episode has a mech fight. Like most mech anime, not every episode does that. It's very interpersonal. And by the end of the season, I guess closure.
You should definitely watch. What?
Because there's the movies that are also on Netflix that you need to watch, right?
Yes.
Yes.
That brings the whole thing into a circle, right?
That's why I brought this up because the ending.
It's confusing. It's confusing.
What do I watch now?
Okay, so if you want to, you can watch the first movie, but it's basically a clip show of the series. So you don't really need to watch it. Watch End of Evangelion. That is the last 2 episodes turned into an 1.5-hour movie. And it explains everything, but you're still going to be confused. You're going to be more sad.
I don't mind being sad.
Yeah.
There are many. I'll be honest. By the end of the show, I was on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Not to spoil anything. I was very careful not to spoil anything. But just to understand what the hell they were shooting at me.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's I definitely was on Wikipedia a lot too, and that's if you watch End of Evangelion, the second of the original movies, that is straight up just like we're retelling the end for more closure.
Yeah.
And that is one hell of an anime movie.
after watching the ending, I went back to Wikipedia to be like, okay, what the hell did I just see? And because you kind of get a hint of what's happening, but you don't really. And then I read the ending, and the ending was like, this actually happened. I was like, I'm sorry, what happened to that ending?
Yeah. So Hideki Anno, when he was making Evangelion, he was going through a deep, dark depression. And if you watch the show, you can see it. You can see it. And that dude talked about how this show helped him get through it, but also opened up a lot of his emotional damage. And like, again, like I've talked about before, like this is like one of the most emotional animes you'll ever watch. Like it is truly like, it is psychologically damaging to these children, like what they go through, while also having some cool robot fights. But again, the last 10 episodes, there's not much mech fighting. It's all about what these kids are going through.
Asuka?
Asuka, yeah.
Holy shit. And Ray, I'm doing shorthand for you guys because I don't want Ben to know what I'm talking about, but you guys will understand. Like, Jesus, all the revelations of these characters' emotional trauma is so engaging and so interesting. Real quickly, what I was going to say when I first started watching it was like, I know exactly what I'm going to say because my goal was like, I want to finish it this week. Because Ben's probably finished it, and I think we probably have a whole conversation. Oops.
No, that's my fault too. I should have finished it.
Okay.
I was watching, and I was just like, the first thing I'm going to say is, man, this show's really horny.
Yeah.
Oh god. I can actually like when Asuka, when like the first night Asuka spends the night over at what's the Shinji's place. Yeah, thank you. When Asuka spends the night over at Shinji's place and she just like plops down right next to him, he's like, should I kiss her? He's like, I'm like, what are you doing, Shinji? And then later on, she's like, hi, you were gonna kiss me.
It's not just that. Everyone's talking about how hot everyone is, and like everyone's like ogling Misaki.
Yeah.
Misaki? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh god, yeah. And even that one dude, Asuka's retainer, they start making out, straight in an elevator, and then she just bolts. It's like, wow.
Yeah. And then the other thing, and so like we're all big fans of Shin Godzilla. We all really like Shin Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
Shin Godzilla.
You see it now?
Yeah, I see. 100% see it. Evangelion and Shin Godzilla. This guy has this. In order for me to explain what I'm trying to say is, I have to go to Thrawn. The Star Wars character Thrawn. He's all about like maps and statistics, and and if you read Timothy Zahn's books, they're all about like how fast things are in numbers and very very number specific of statistics, like 12% this 12.
Very calculative.
Very calculative, and Evangelion and Shin Godzilla are very much the same way, and I thought that was really interesting. I've never seen that in an anime, even though this anime falls under a genre which I hold close to my heart, which is the ambiguously post-apocalyptic anime, which is Big O and Gurren Lagann and those kind of things. But it's very unique. It's something I've never seen before, and I don't know if they've tried to replicate it since. Besides Evangelion, I know there's the new movies, but I found it to be kind of refreshing.
Yeah. There's not a lot of things like it, and I'm really glad I'm assuming you liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, definitely watch End of Evangelion, and then I know there's news about more Evangelion stuff. Just move right into that after that.
I plan on it because I thoroughly enjoyed it.
So speaking of Evangelion, this is gonna sound really weird, but Toyota was doing a crossover with Evangelion, and Fanny showed me the commercials for it because I'm like, whoa, are they making like new cars based off the Eva units? What's going on? It's just a car with some like dialogue in the background. They didn't do anything to the Honda to the Toyota Corollas or anything.
Yeah,
it's just like Toyota Cross Evangelion. Oh no, it's Honda. It was Honda that did this. It was Honda Cross Evangelion. I'm like, this just looks like a regular Honda Civic. Where's the Evangelion in it?
Evangelion is the most popular anime in Japan besides Gundam, but like there's entire trains that have been outfitted to look like Evangelions. Like the marketing, it's not as like ubiquitous as like Mickey Mouse, but like they use Evangelion for marketing and everything because it's just so popular. So yeah, I'm glad we're all circling the Eva train.
Yeah, I like I said, it's been on my list for a long time, ever since my former roommate Amanda moved in, and she wanted to watch it. So finally, that was on Netflix. So I was like, I have no excuse anymore. So when I finished Resistance, I was like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna press play and just do it.
I'm so happy.
Yeah,
Also,
really.
how dope is that theme song?
Really good.
Yeah.
Really good. It's that ending something though. I'm gonna be thinking about it for a long time.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. That is it's the closest anime ending to a Twin Peaks ending, I will say, where it's very ambiguous. You're not exactly sure what's going on, but you feel something for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end, when everyone's just like,
"Congratulations!"
Good job.
Yeah.
Like what?
The song's playing. Yeah, it's
I'm getting so many flashbacks because it's been years, but I'm like, oh man,
it's something else. I love it.
Anyway, that's all I got.
Evangelion episode. Once I finish it,
you should watch it, dude. You should finish it, dude.
I need to finish it. Yeah, but I'm glad that I know that I need to watch the end of Evangelion because I was going to ask you, Ryan, once I finish this series, what order in the movies I need to watch because it's just like Evangelion movie, end of Evangelion. It's like, which one do I watch?
After the main series, there's 2 90s movies. Don't watch the first one because it's just a clip show unless you just really want to. The second one is a original retelling of the ending with new stuff that's just
it's very
bonkers.
If you're aware, it's very similar to what happened with the Gurren Lagann. They made 2 films. The first one is very much kind of just summation. It has some new animation, but it's more or less summation of the first half of Gurren Lagann.
Yeah.
But the second one, second half of the second movie is like a totally different version of the ending.
Yeah, that's basically what this is.
That second half of Gurren Lagann movie is awesome.
That is nuts.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
Nia still dies, right?
In Gurren Lagann?
Yeah.
That's not change. We're talking about when Lord Genome walks on a galaxy and creates a mech out of nothing.
I remember you showed me that part.
Gets their own super mech.
So I will say, End of Evangelion approaches that nonsense.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, big stuff.
I'm totally fine with Lord Genome walking out onto a galaxy and punching another galaxy-sized mech in the face. I'm totally fine with that.
And when I was watching the end, the last 2 episodes of Evangelion, when I finished them and when I went to Wikipedia, apparently what ends up in the movie was what he initially intended the ending to be before he changed it. So I found that really interesting.
Yeah, it's like a almost like a redo. Yeah, it doesn't totally negate the final episodes. It just recontextualizes and adds 100 more ideas.
Yeah, because there's a shot in that last 2 episodes where I was just like, what? I won't say it for Ben's sake, but still. Anyway, that's all I got.
Congratulations.
Happy I finally watched it.
All right, guys, I'll go next because I got too much, and I'm gonna try to go fast because we're already at 30 minutes. All right.
It's been 2 weeks.
It's true. It has been 2 weeks. I played a lot of video games. A whole lot of video games this week. I'm gonna start with XCOM Chimera Squad. That is the newest XCOM game. It came out for $9.99 on a quarantine sale because the developers were really nice. I'm like, hey, we'll give it to you half off. It is a budget XCOM game. It is not XCOM 3. It's kind of like just like the next game that they're working on. It takes place in the future. In the world of XCOM, aliens come and they take over the world. XCOM 2, it's you fighting them back. And now XCOM Chimera Squad, it is a new world where you live in peace with aliens. So this is the first XCOM game where you have aliens on your squad. Ben, you've played Fire Emblem. You know what XCOM is. It is it's turn-based
tactical game.
Tactical game, yes. It introduces a lot of new ideas that are very interesting to the XCOM tactical idea that I'm not sure really work. I think they're testing the waters for XCOM 3 to see what really works before they go full in on all these ideas. But I'm glad I bought it for $10 because it's tonally a lot more funny and a lot more cartoony than the original XCOM, which is a little more drab and dreary, aliens taking over the world. So tonally, it's very different, and the gameplay is a little different. So I'm kind of it's been getting a lot of 7s and 6s, and I would give it around there too. Like it's totally fine. For $10, I'm happy I got it for $10. I'll say that. Next was I played lots of I played X-Men Legends and Ultimate Spider-Man for streaming. I've done that. I don't need to talk about that very much. Castlevania: Lords of Shadow was on sale for $7, and I've been in a big Castlevania mood. So I was playing Symphony of the Night earlier this week, which came out in 1997, that we play as Alucard. But I was like, hey, I want to play that modern one made by Kojima that I never beat. So I found it, and luckily it was only $7. So I downloaded it, and I played it. That game's great. It's God of War, but with Dracula. Spoilers, he's not Dracula yet. And then I played... I downloaded this game today, called Mass Builder. I sent you text messages of it. It's the Mechanical Assault Skeletal Suit Builder. It is a mech building game where you have hundreds of creative custom ideas. It's an early access. It's still relatively new, but it seems pretty cool. And I just wanted a cool mech building game. The enemies are like Evangelions. They have like cool weird designs, like big oblong shapes and stuff. So that looks like
Are they like?
Are they? That's a good question. I forgot you know this stuff now.
I know this stuff now. It feels good.
That's so cool. I love it. Weed and Evangelion, you're a new man. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. There's a new Assassin's Creed that's coming out later this year, and I never beat Odyssey, which is the Greek mythology one. So I re-downloaded that. There's a bunch of updates, so there's a bunch of new content. So I'm working my way through that. That game's still really fun. I forgot how great. I forgot how good Assassin's Creed games are, but really what makes Assassin's Creed games good is they allow us to have giant open world Greek mythology games, giant open world Egyptian mythology games. We don't get games like that unless they're a specific genre. And the good thing about these new Assassin's Creed games is they get rid of all the bullshit modern stuff that no one cares about. So I'm just playing a fun Greek mythology game with my badass Cassandra, and I'm preparing for Valhalla. So I'm excited about that. Is that all the video games? That's all the video games, baby. I watched a couple documentaries because after Tiger King, I'm just kind of in the mood for a little bit more. There's a British gentleman by the name of Louis Theroux, and he is a excellent BBC documentarian. He's worked with them for many years. I watched a movie on Netflix called My Scientology Movie. It's about his journey into Scientology and how, hey guys, have you heard how crazy they are? It's true.
I'm going to look this up. I want to check this out.
It's the most eye-opening Scientology documentary I've ever seen. And it's not like painting them in a negative light. It's just like, I want to see what these people are about. And they are truly insane.
Is it on Netflix?
It's on Netflix, yeah. It's like a solid hour and a half. Like it's really nice and breezy. You learn so much about Scientology. Many members who have left the church are involved. So you get the most info I've ever learned about them. And just like how Tom Cruise is crazy.
I thought he left.
He did recently leave. Yes, thank you for reminding me, Ben. He's still doing crazy.
I mean, yeah, he could probably still could be batshit insane, but I remember reading somewhere, I was like, no, Tom Cruise is no longer part of the Church of Scientology. I'm like, good for him.
Yeah, I think they wouldn't let him see his kids or something weird. Yeah,
something like that, yeah.
So Louis Theroux did a couple documentaries I also watched about the meth epidemic in Fresno, California. So I watched a lot of people overdose on meth, and that was not a good time, but it was an interesting and intellectual time. And then I watched the documentary on the Westboro Baptist Church. Oh boy, what a bunch of goofballs! Let me tell you, they suck. They're a bunch of bigots and racists and horrible people. But it was interesting because the documentary came out almost like 10 years ago. So I did a follow-up research, and there's a couple of members of the church who left. There's two daughters who left. Megan Phelps did a TED Talk about it, and I watched her TED Talk, and it's incredible to see this girl who she used to be and just completely indoctrinated with hatred, and now she's completely like unbrainwashed, and she's like a real person. She's like, I can't believe my family did this to me, and I allowed this to happen to my younger siblings. And it was a really eye-opening thing on how people can transform from being the worst to the best. So I found that highly interesting. The last thing I'm going to talk about, two things. I watched Middleditch and Schwartz, which is a new Netflix improv show by Thomas Middleditch and Ben Schwartz, aka Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
That is an hour-long improv show. I think just 3 episodes, and they just take suggestions from the audience, like Whose Line Is It Anyway, and they do full 30-minute section improv shows. And it's super funny if you're in a bad mood or you want to laugh. Those are really great to watch. The last thing I'm going to talk about is a show called Devs. Devs is the best show I've watched this year. I can't stop thinking about it. I need Sparks to watch it immediately so I can talk about it with someone. Guys, Devs is the new show by Alex Garland. He wrote Dread. He wrote 28 Days Later. He directed Ex Machina and Annihilation. That dude does genre better than almost anybody. Devs is one of those shows where, much like Parasite, I don't want to tell you what it's about because it's a mystery box show, but the mystery is really good. But it's about tech developers in Silicon Valley in San Francisco, and they're working on the most advanced software ever made. It's dealing with computers and computing and algorithms and stuff and predicting the future. And that's all I want to say. But it is one of the most insane, beautiful sci-fi shows I've ever seen in my life. I recommend it wholly.
That's the new show with Alison Brie, right?
Yes. Alison Hill.
Alison Pill, thank you.
Yeah,
I remember seeing a trailer for that. It looked interesting.
Yes. It's got Ron from Parks and Rec. I always forget his name.
Nick Offerman.
Nick Offerman. Yeah, this is the best thing he's ever done. I've never seen.
You can see. Sorry, real quickly to derail your devs conversation. Did you guys see the new Parks and Rec special?
Not yet.
I haven't finished it. I stopped it.
It's charming.
I love Parks and Rec, so I'm gonna watch it.
I didn't go out of my way to watch it because I have yet to watch Parks and Rec.
It would make sense. It would make sense for you to watch it.
I'm waiting for a fan to come home so we can watch it together.
I love it. But yeah, honestly, devs, it's 8 episodes. It's a prestige miniseries. Like the way it ends, there is no season 2. This is a one and done thing. It's like Westworld, but 100% more emotionally based. It is all about the reason that these people are doing these things. It's all from the heart, and it's like it's maybe the most heartbreaking scene I've seen in a TV show in a long time. And it was 2:00 in the morning when I audibly yelled, and I was all like, I hope nobody heard me because I'm really mad at the show right now for what it did to me. Much like, honestly, Brandon, it gives me Neon Genesis Evangelion vibes. Hard. That's the same type of tone. It is tonally very grim and dark with some optimism, but it is rooted in shit's bad. And I pray that it gets award recognition, because like truly, this is like, I've never seen a sci-fi show like this. Like, it's bold, it's crazy, and that is my week. Please watch Devs.
It lasts 2 weeks.
Last 2 weeks. Please watch Devs.
Sparkles.
I
also
covered
did
it at the top.
a lot of stuff with him too.
Yeah, I covered it at the top. But I'll just readdress that. I caught entirely up on the Clone Wars, which was really happy, and have been keeping up with Siege of Mandalore. So that's been nice. I've watched a few more episodes of Brand New Animal. So we're caught up with how it's airing in Japan, but not how many episodes were released because of a weird thing with Netflix in Japan. That show from Trigger is really good. When you guys have a chance to set aside time, probably wait until it's just all out and you can binge it. But Brand New Animal is just as strong in its own way as Kill la Kill and Gurren Lagann so far, in my opinion. We've watched about 4 or 5 more episodes of Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
And we've been enjoying that quite a bit.
Incredible.
Yeah. I really liked that last episode about Danny the Street.
Yo, man. That show, I can't believe that like Doom Patrol is the craziest and most emotional superhero show on TV. Because like I've talked about it last week. Like the things it's doing on that show is like really, really cool. Yeah. Like I'm so glad season 2 is happening.
We kept up with Motherland Fort Salem, which we still highly recommend. Yep. Very much enjoying it. Some really good stuff happening there. And Harley Quinn, also have been keeping up with that. Also really good.
Great Mr. Freeze stuff.
Yes.
Like truly, like some of the best Mr. Freeze stuff like since that animated show.
Yeah, not this week's, but the week before's episode with Mr. Freeze was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Really, really enjoyed it. I caught up on The Flash, except for this week's episode. And that's an interesting place. So the Nash that you all saw open up the crisis to happen and everything.
Pericol?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It turns out that all of the other Nash Wells of all the multiverse transferred their consciousness inside of him.
Oh my god.
And are haunting him.
He's a legion.
So that's cool. And he's kind of like carrying extra guilt and burden from causing the crisis. We're 1 episode away from finishing Westworld. That last episode was pretty good.
Yeah, man. This is only 8 episodes this season, right?
Yeah, it's only an 8 episode
season. Luckily, it's got like 2 more seasons like already like promised, but
that's probably in our news.
Man, God, Westworld's so good. Yeah, I'm loving it. It's good sci-fi right now, guys.
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man mentions Westworld.
It did, yeah. I'm really glad that Westworld we'll talk about in the news. Its renewal. Megan and I started Mrs. America from FX. If you don't know what that's about, this is about Phyllis Schlafly, who is played by Cate Blanchett. She was the leading proponent of the Stop ERA movement, which was the Equal Rights Amendment being led by feminists in the 1970s. It's got Rose Byrne playing Gloria Steinem, who was a big opposer of Phyllis Schlafly, and Betty Friedan's a major character in it. Howard Stark, John Slattery plays Kate Blanchett's husband in the show. James Marsden is in an episode. There's a lot of stars who show up there, and I really, really like it. It's a strong FX period piece that I'm really enjoying, and it's very unfortunately reflective of how much our country hasn't changed for the better since rights were being fought for at that time, and the perspective of how Phyllis is able to, and spoiler alert, Phyllis wins. The Equal Rights Amendment doesn't get passed, and it's because she wins. And her arguments really, really suck. And it sucks to be watching her win, but I also think it's important to understand why she won. So I really, really like that show. That's been really
When is that?
good.
Is that like the 50s?
70s.
70s? Okay.
This is, it covers most of the 70s.
Okay.
Yeah. We also, at Megan's suggestion, which made me really happy, have started a new anime called Promise Neverland, which I've heard good things about. I recommend going into it blind, so I'm not going to give much of a summary other than it's about an orphanage.
It doesn't involve Peter Pan?
Nope, not at all.
Oh, okay.
It's not about Peter Pan at all.
Okay.
And it's way better to not know what it's about when you watch the first episode, because that was our experience.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was suggested to Megan from friends she trusted more than me to recommend an anime for her. So we're but the big one that I'll spend a little bit of time talking about is I am 3 episodes away from finishing Castlevania.
The whole thing?
Yes. I'm 3 episodes away from finishing season 3. I have enjoyed it. I really, really like Isaac a lot.
Yeah, dude.
I will say that something that I thought was a season 1 problem turns out it's just a show problem. I really hate the sound mixing.
Yeah.
The sound mixing is really bad. They have a horrible tendency to let people whisper and keep it really low rather than raising their volume up when they're whispering. And so they just keep in like this close thing. So I have to turn up the volume to hear them or turn on subtitles to understand what they're saying, because that happens way too often.
So I thought that was a me problem, and I didn't bring it up when I talked about Castlevania last time. So I'm really glad you brought it up. I had the same issue with all 3 seasons.
As a person who has watched plenty of anime, and especially like lately, I can say that this is a very bizarre issue to have, where the ADR specifically on Trevor is really poor.
Yeah.
Trevor gets so quiet that his words start to slur, yet the volume of like sound effects around them will still be up
Do you
high.
think because they're getting these seasons out pretty fast, do you think it's like a rush job?
It's possible. It's a very bizarre thing to feel from a polished show, more or less.
Yeah.
And it's something that like it's not ruining the show for me, but it just stands out when it happens, and I'm like, I don't understand why I have to turn this up.
Yeah.
I don't understand why I have to turn on subtitles in order. Hey, comic book G-Spot. I don't understand why I have to raise volume in order to hear what's happening from certain characters in certain intimate moments.
I just always have my volume really loud. I guess I didn't notice that. But I like, interesting. Okay.
So what happens a lot is that I try not to have it too loud because I've been watching on weekdays while Megan's working.
Yeah.
And so, but I have everything at a reasonable volume where I can hear everything plain and normal, except when they get into these intimate sessions. And it's weird because it'll be like a intimate conversation, but if they decide to whisper, it truly becomes a whisper.
Me too, comic book. You know what? I will say there was a lot of whispering in that show, but I think just because my volume, like I don't have the same like problem you do. So like, not that that's like, you know what I mean, but like, I guess if I just have my volume way too loud, I guess I didn't notice. But they are whispering a shit ton.
Yeah,
they whisper a lot, and I noticed it with the priest from the first season mostly. Is when I first.
And like, go ahead, Ben.
I was gonna say for Castlevania, especially the first season, I don't know if it was just because they had really thick accents that was hard for me to understand what they were saying. But there were times where Trevor was talking, and I couldn't barely understand what he was saying. And I was just like, "Is the volume too low? Is my what's wrong with what's wrong with this?" And then there are times I'm listening to subtitles, and it's like, "Oh, it's just that even though he's whispering, they actually have his volume low, so I can't hear him. I can't understand what they're saying."
Right. Yeah. I don't get it. I just feel it's not that it's inaudible, but you have to put it at such a high level in order to hear everything properly. And I don't have that issue with other shows.
Between the sound effects and the ADR, the sound mixing is not wonderful. It could be better.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Outside of shows, there was a lot of video game playing. We covered
You
a
rock
lot.
my
of it.
book, Cheap Spot.
Thank you. We covered a lot of it with Battlefront 2, Overwatch.
We've downloaded Destiny too, and Destiny.
Well, Travis Pye and I played through I think 4 hours one night of the opening of Destiny 2. Brandon, this might be a good time for you to jump in.
I'm not doing Destiny.
Destiny 2 is free.
It's free, and it's years of content.
It is for actually
Destiny 2. It's gotten so good.
Destiny 2 actually finished downloading on my PS4. I have it now.
Good.
Nice.
Because I took off Final Fantasy 7. That was 100 gigs.
I know. Let's get you through Overwatch.
Yeah. Real quick, because you brought up Castlevania, I've been in a deep Castlevania hole the last 2 weeks. I know so much about the lore. I've watched some Let's Plays of some of the older games because I could have bought the Anniversary Collection, but I don't want to do it. The Castlevania saga spans hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. Like, what I love about the show takes place during Castlevania 3. There's 400 years of Belmonts before that and Dracula that we don't even know about yet. I'm like, they could really do the show forever. They really could go back in time.
That's why I really liked the last episode.
Yeah, because it introduces some stuff. Yeah,
so I'm close to that.
Yeah.
But I will say that I enjoyed the Castlevania kick so much that all those sales that have been happening, I bought everything that isn't the Castlevania Anniversary Collection, essentially between Xbox and PlayStation.
You get like 6 games. It's a good deal.
Yeah. There's a lot of great video game sales that people should be checking out across all the markets and comics too.
No, Sparks, when you sent me that link or that picture of that Gundam Versus game that was on sale for the PlayStation Store, I just went through it and so many RPGs on sale. And I'm like, no, my wallet, I can't.
I was gonna tell you, Ben, even at $23 or $21, whatever it was, I still couldn't justify buying the Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC. I still couldn't justify it. I'm like, nah, that shit's gotta be 10.
Part of me, I'm probably gonna. I haven't gotten it yet because I don't have Kingdom Hearts 3 downloaded on my PS4 right now because of other stuff. But part of me is like, I'll just get it, but so I can play it later. But at the same time, I want to get through other games, so I'll probably wait till they slash the price again.
Yep.
Because
I did a sale. I bought some things from the sale, and I could have bought Kingdom Hearts, but I didn't.
One package.
I decided not to.
What did you get?
I bought
a lot of games for $30.
Yeah,
that's true. But I got the Return to Arkham series because I wanted to play them again.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
And I got the both Xenoverse games. And,
we can play that together.
Oh, and Uncharted. I got Uncharted 4. Yeah, Uncharted 4. Okay. Because I have the first 3 and I never bought the 4th one, so I bought the 4th one.
I got the 4th one for free on PlayStation. I got the Uncharted collection. Yes.
Yeah, you're here too.
Thank you. I also
guys, I'm sorry. This is gonna be a thick 3-hour podcast. You don't have to stick around.
Please do that.
We haven't even gotten to the news.
No, we have not.
We haven't talked to our friends in 2 weeks.
Shall we get into the news then? After we read what's Vanya?
Castlevania.
Gotcha. Vanya. Thank you.
But hey, I'm happy about the old school 8-bit Final Fantasy because I got my NES Classic hooked up out front, and I am gonna dive into that first Final Fantasy game. I'm ready.
Shall we get into the news?
Bread and butter.
Bread and butter, guys. Bread and butter. We have some sad news as always to stick it up. We almost missed it because last week there wasn't a whole lot of sad, but this week they kind of we're like, never mind.
They are sad.
So this week, this past Sam Lloyd, probably most known for Scrubs. He was also in Seinfeld.
Yeah,
he passed away cancer at the age of 56 this week. That's sad. I like that guy. Comic Book G-Spot, we're talking about sad things.
He was talking about
just being supportive.
Okay, thank you. Michael Mantlo passed away. He's not necessarily a creator, but it does hit the creative community because he is the brother of Rocket Raccoon creator Bill Mantlo. Mm-hmm. This man was taking care of him, his brother Bill, after a car accident. So it's really sad that he'd passed away at the age of 68. So Mag says Sam Lloyd never got revenge on Dr. Kelso.
No, he did not.
I watched that show once.
Deadpool came out too soon.
Oh,
Um,
was that good?
It was fine. It was just it was pre when Revival was the shtick. And
I don't want to fine.
If they waited 10 years, it could have been golden.
I don't want to fine Revival.
Do you know what? I think I went back and watched it later, and I liked it much more. I think it just needed more space from the final season, or the true final season, because that felt like a real ending.
It felt like super close to when that came out, right?
it was the next season.
It was the next year.
Yeah,
They needed to wait. If they'd waited, it would have been fine. Cool.
Matteo De Cosmo, who is a Marvel TV and ABC art director.
He worked on like Daredevil and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, he passed away at the age of 52 due to complications of COVID-19.
Yeah.
Michael Mansell, by the way, was 68. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
The one that really hit me, though, was Irfan Khan.
Yeah.
Passed away this past week at the age of 53, a week after his mother passed away. And he couldn't go see his mom because of India's COVID laws, lockdowns. For those of you who don't know, he was Masrani in Jurassic World. I recently saw him in a movie called Puzzle. That was really good.
He's a character actor. He shows up in he's a guy you recognize, absolutely.
He's a wonderful actor. I've seen most of his American films and a couple of his Indian films. I really like the guy. But he passed. He apparently had a tumor that he had developed in 2018 and passed away due to complications of that. However, the exact cause of death was not given. So, so all those losses, you know. Oh, you're right. You're right, Mag and Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah, that's I recognize him from something else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway. So let's move on, get away from that, and talk about the coronavirus updates. You know, this is a regular segment of the show now. Some obviously release dates have been pushed back because of the coronavirus. Most of these films haven't started filming yet, so they need to push them. Sony has pushed Venom 2.
No, excuse me, Venom :
Let There Be Carnage.
Hey, that's the shitty title that movie deserves. I don't even hate it. It deserves that title.
God,
I can't reserve any more hatred for it.
Venom : Let There Be Carnage. They announced the date and the new title.
Yeah.
The original date was originally going to be October 2nd this year, but it's now going to be June 25th next year. Obviously, there's a new Spider-Man film that they're filming hasn't started filming yet, so they pushed that from its July 16th release date next year to November 5th.
It was going to come out July next year?
Yeah.
They should have started filming soon then, right?
They were supposed to.
They would have right around the time that we went in, because that's the thing is there's been a Spider-Man movie every other year, which is why I said there definitely would be one in 2021.
Yeah.
Because they want to, like I said, they want Tom Holland to be as young as possible for as many of them. Tom Holland just said he doesn't know what's going to shoot first now, Uncharted or Spider-Man.
It's Uncharted. Sony made an official announcement.
Oh, really? Shit.
Yeah.
Cool.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2, whatever it's going to be called, was originally going to come out on April 8th, 2022, but it's now going to be October 7th, 2022. Mag says they might set for a Maximum Carnage. Honestly, that would have been a better title.
They should have called it Maximum Carnage.
Yeah.
They should have just called it that. That's what everyone wanted.
And Uncharted, like we mentioned before, Uncharted has a new release date. However, it moved up because it's going to be filming soon. October 8th, 2021 was its original release date, and but now it is July 16th, 2021.
They were on their first day of filming when that got shut down. They were making that movie. Mark Wahlberg was there with a stupid mustache, and then they had to cancel it.
Guys, Mark Wahlberg's not a good pick for that character.
No, he's not. He's not a good pick for... He's a better Nathan Drake, but he's not a good Nathan Drake either.
No. No Morbius news.
There's no Morbius news?
No.
Aw, damn.
I mean,
it was a couple weeks ago.
We talked about that a while
ago.
Yeah,
that was weeks ago. Yeah.
Lionsgate has pushed John Wick Chapter 4 from its May 21st, 2021 release date to May 27th, 2022.
We're not going to get two Keanu movies in the same day then.
Keanu movies in the same day.
Oh, no more Keanu Day?
No.
It was never going to happen anyway. They're not going to put two Keanu movies on the same day.
A man could dream.
I could dream, Brandon. I could dream.
They really could have. They really could have just leaned into it and been like, guys, do the Keanu double feature.
Yeah. Do you know how many people would have gone to a Keanu double feature for both Matrix 4 and John Wick 4? I would have done it.
I don't think enough to make both of those movies a hit.
I think we have a $4 movie theater.
I disagree. With as much clout as the Keanu Reeves has with the internet, I'm pretty sure it would have worked.
Keanu Reeves is the next SpongeBob.
It's true. He finally made it.
It's true. Just like David Hasselhoff. Spiral from the Book of Saw has been pushed from its May 15th this month, to May 21st next year.
Jeez, man.
That's quite a delay.
Yeah.
Paramount obviously has to push the Mission Impossible films because they haven't started filming, so they are now from July 23rd of next year to November 19th of next year. Mission Impossible 8 is August 5th of 2022 to November 4th, 2022. The Comic Book G-Spot asks us a question. It's the first question that we've done these live shows.
Yay!
So who would make a good Silver Surfer?
Doug Jones.
I mean, he would.
He already was.
He did. I mean, I don't care. Do it.
All right, you know what? As the voice,
I never liked the Keanu as Silver Surfer. I'll be honest.
Lawrence Fishburne.
No,
mean as casting?
As casting. Okay. Because I always think that Keanu should be an elder of the universe, like the Collector and the Grandmaster. I don't think he should be a main character.
Or like Adam Warlock, someone like with power.
No, I think someone like because if you look at the Collector and the Grandmaster, they're kind of these kooky side characters.
Yeah.
And Jeff Goldblum especially, I think if Jeff Goldblum was like a main character, that would take away from that character because it's Jeff Goldblum. I think Keanu Reeves has that same problem. We would be like, that's Keanu Reeves, not such and such, not Moon Knight.
So you might as well lean into it then. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. But Comic Book G-Spot agrees with you. Adam Warlock. Yeah.
I think he has like the beautiful hair. I think that could work. Make him bold.
Warner Brothers had to push The Batman to October 1st, 2021. It was originally June 25th. Shazam 2, which hasn't even started filming, April 1st, 2022 was its initial release date. Now it's November 4th, 2022.
Boy, did they mess up in casting that kid.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be like 20.
He's going to have a full beard.
Yeah, that kid should have been younger.
It's Artemis Fowl.
All right. Now, here's the interesting thing about Warner Brothers' new release dates. The Flash has moved up from its July 1st, 2022 release date to June 3rd, 2022.
What's going on?
So they moved up a month.
Oh, they really like Ezra Miller, don't they?
Well, they cast, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, and they're kind of on the outs right now.
No, so. I know. What is with Warner Brothers?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they have faith that the Flash movie is actually going to happen, which is more faith that anybody else has in that movie.
I mean, I'm sure, Andy Muschietti, I'm sure, it's happening. And
was he the current director? I was trying to figure it out. Okay.
Oh yeah, he announced it it's happening. It's just it's actually happening. That's weird.
Supposedly, we're hearing rumors that they're looking to replace Kiersey Clemens as Iris West. However, this rumor has popped up before, which she debunked, so I wouldn't take that too hard.
Yeah.
And Scoob is going to skip a theatrical release, and it's just going to be VOD. Same date. Though Scoob will still be coming out May 15th on the same date that was supposed to come out in theaters. However, instead of theaters, it'll be VOD.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, there's that.
I wonder if that's an expensive movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scoob. It's not inexpensive.
Yeah.
That level of animation is not inexpensive.
Yeah.
Mag says, "I'm excited though for HBO Max."
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it
later.
Yeah.
Video games have The Last of Us.
You missed one movie delay.
I did. Which one?
The Hitman's Bodyguard sequel.
Oh, you're right.
It was also delayed a year.
Yeah, that one's been delayed.
August next year.
Hey guys, I definitely didn't see that movie. Definitely didn't see that movie.
You can't do it with you.
I definitely didn't see a movie that I'm not going to see for 2 years. That's crazy.
The Last of Us Part 2 has a new release date of June 19th. And Ghost of Tsushima, it has a new release date of July 17th. So, some good news.
So, if it's not good news, but The Last of Us 2 had every single thing leaked by some game testers, I believe. There was a big report that they thought it was inside people at Naughty Dog who are disgruntled employees.
Yeah.
It's not the case. But The Last of Us 2 is out there, and it is being spoiled for everyone. So just be careful.
Comic Book Cheese, we are talking about that show later on in the episode.
Oh yeah, we're going to talk about all the trailers, baby. We got all the trailers to talk about.
Oh yeah.
But I am so scared to be on the internet right now, like because that is like my most anticipated game, and him too. And like I've seen like I haven't been spoiled, but I've seen like what could be a spoiler, and I'm like I don't want to even pretend to know. Yeah. I'm going to be so pissed because that's like one of
I've never been happier to spend so little time on Twitter.
Yeah,
I think that was the same thing with me when Final Fantasy VII came out, because I know they changed the game a bit, and I'm like, I can't keep looking at Twitter. I have to stay far away. I don't want people to spoil it.
Yeah, I get you. But they can only change.
I know it's different because Last of Us 2, that's completely brand new.
That game exists already.
Yeah, sure.
Last of Us Part 2 has the entire game spoiled for them. Final Fantasy VII, almost the entire game has been out for 20 years.
Over 20 years.
It's true. Yeah.
23 actually came out in 97.
People are thinking that Naughty Dog made the new release date because of the leak, and that's not true because you can't. Business doesn't work that fast. You're not like, oh, this just happened, let's immediately put the game out. It doesn't work like that. I'm sure this helped them get the release date quicker, but a lot of people are pointing to the leak being this is the reason we're getting it so fast, and that's just not how video games work. We're getting it next month though, and I'm very happy.
Yeah,
very happy.
So a lot of movies have been put out. Well, not a lot of movies have been put VOD. Some have, but there's been a lot of stuff happening and release dates. Universal has seen a lot of success with Trolls World Tour. However, not the kind of success that that the headlines say. The headlines are like Trolls World Tour made more money than Trolls. No, Universal made more money on Trolls World Tour. But they actually didn't make as much money as a dollar amount, because they got most of the money back instead of theater distribution. But that allowed Universal to kind of be like, hey, we're going to look at doing more of this kind of thing. They implying, and I've read the announcement a couple of times, Universal statement a couple of times, and there's really nothing definitive that they said, but they do seem to imply that they're looking into day and date distribution, putting movies in theaters and digital at the same time.
I read the same thing, and it's like it implies doing them at the same time in the future, theater and VOD at the same time.
Yes, which goes against a long-standing agreement between studios and theater chains to have a wider gap for theaters. AMC, which is a popular theater chain in America and around the world, released a statement saying that they are no longer going to play, effective immediately, no longer going to play any Universal Studios movies in theaters ever. Which, by the way, they can afford to do that this year. They can't afford to do that next year.
This is so petty. This is so petty.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the theater at City Walk in AMC theaters?
Yes. Universal City Walk has an AMC theater.
I mean, I definitely don't want the next Jurassic Park movie or the next Fast and the Furious movie or any of these billion-dollar movies in my theater. That'd be stupid.
Mark and a Hopkins.
We're fine.
Yeah.
I think this is so stupid on there.
I agree, but I think that I also think it's kind of calculated because right now Universal doesn't have any tentpoles coming out this year. They moved all their tentpoles to next year.
Mm-hmm.
So AMC kind of looked at the numbers and like, can we afford to do this? We can afford to do this. For now, exactly. Yeah. And I think I don't think this is going to last.
I agree. It is a really petty thing to bring out in public.
Yes.
And I especially don't like that after like the coverage was happening, AMC got attacked for being anti-VOD in the time of coronavirus, which is very explicitly not what they said. They were very clear that they're like, we are not attacking VOD. In their initial statement, they didn't even have to rephrase themselves. In their initial statement, they're like, we're not against Trolls World Tour being on VOD. We're against them implying VOD and theatrical releases at the same time without even negotiating with us. And there is context that needs to be understood. 2 weeks prior, AMC did an interview where they were talking about their fear of facing bankruptcy.
Yeah,
they're a theater chain that's on the edge. At least they're the ones talking about it publicly. Mm-hmm. I understand them wanting to put something out right away to say, don't consider this. Please don't consider this to studios. I understand that desire to put that out there right away. And the way to get the most attention around it is to say no more Universal movies. I don't even know if that's necessarily what they intend, but that is the thing that's going to get attention, and it did.
Yeah, I agree. Universal released a statement saying that we're sorry we're sorry you felt this way, and blah blah blah. Who cares?
Like a hostage
Universal said, well, we're doing VOD because of coronavirus right now. They pretended that they weren't implying the theatrical and VOD in tandem.
Yeah,
but they were. They really tried to. They went that direction to sideswipe it and say, "Why are you guys so against VOD in this time of coronavirus?" And it's like,
Cineworld, which owns Regal Theaters, which is another popular theater chain in California, especially, stood with AMC and said, "We're also not going to play Universal Studios movies in theaters, effective immediately." And look, realistically, they're going to come to an agreement.
Yes,
there's no way that Jurassic World is not playing in theaters.
Nope. Exactly.
There's no way that Fast and the Furious. Look, Trolls World Tour made a lot of money, and it did well. Movies do not make $1 billion on VOD. It is impossible right now. It is not within VOD's capabilities to do that at this current moment. They still need theater distribution to make that much money, and which is why Warner Brothers decided not to put Wonder Woman on VOD, which is why Marvel decided not to put Black Widow on VOD. You're not going to make those numbers.
Because they know that those films, people are going to want to see those films, and that's where the money is, going out to the movie theaters to see these films en masse. I mean, VOD is great, but during this time of coronavirus, but you got people like all four of us, we want to go out to the movie theater.
Right. But you also look at the movies that are going to VOD, most of them are family films. Trolls World Tour, Scoob. They can afford to do that because people are going to buy them for their kids, to keep their kids entertained. The family films make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
They're not looking to make $1 billion.
Right.
It's why Disney got Onward on the Disney Plus so fast, because they knew they would get subscriptions.
Right, exactly. Yes, Mag. Cineworld, which owns Regal, jumping on the bandwagon, which, like I said. I think this isn't going to last.
I do think it was a petty move to do really publicly on AMC's part. I also think the way Universal handled it in response, trying to pretend that they didn't say what they said, was shitty. But overall, I ultimately agree that I'm glad someone called attention to it fast from the theater industry, even though I wish that it came out a little differently, to say, you can't just go to do this without talking to us.
Yes.
You can't just go VOD and theater distribution in the future.
Yeah.
Totally fine. Come on.
Yeah, I agree with you, Sparks.
Especially at a time when AMC at least is being very open about, we are in danger.
Yeah.
Also,
and many theaters are. AMC is one of the bigger theater chains, and if they're in danger, you can only imagine what's happening to Cinemark or Regal or Regency.
Correct.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't AMC one of the first theater chains to actually shut down because of the coronavirus fear, that they were like, we want to keep our guests and our employees safe?
They all kind of did it in about like the same time.
It was all around the same time.
But they were one of the leaders of the pack for sure. But they all kind of pulled that trigger within the same 48 hours.
And AMC has a video on demand service, so they're clearly not being like anti-VOD. They have a service.
Yeah,
that is VOD. So to say that they're anti-VOD is ridiculous.
This just feels like, remember when Spider-Man was gone from Disney for like a week? It just feels like that. It's like it feels like a hostage negotiation. I'm just like, this feels super petty. Like, I understand all the reasoning. Like, you shouldn't have VOD and theater at the same time without at least talking about it, because that's unfair to the theaters and to the filmmakers and stuff. But like, this just feels like, the way they did it feels like super petty, and I'm just like, you could have done this so much better.
Another factor of it, I think, is the last time I looked at AMC's VOD, Trolls World Tour wasn't part of it. So Universal didn't share its VOD through AMC, or I think any of the other theater chains. It's through like Universal specifically doing it to like maybe like Amazon and things like that,
but not it on Fandango,
but not through theater chains,
right?
And that does exist as an option. And I think that's another thing where like AMC's like, we could have kept like our arrangement on a calculated scale, but you're not helping theaters.
Yeah.
It's a tricky thing.
Well, anyway, it's not all bad. There's some good stuff that's coming out thanks to the Ronas. We talked about it a little bit up top, and I mentioned that I finished all of Evangelion. Rebuild of Evangelion, which is the film series. There's 3 out right now. 4th one was supposed to be out relatively soon, but they had to push it due to Corona. The 4th and last, I should say. All 3 movies have been released on YouTube for free.
Hell yeah, baby.
which I think is really cool. There are dubs of them, but I don't think the dubs are available on YouTube. I couldn't find them, at least.
I believe that's true.
Yeah, I think this is just the original Japanese language track.
Cool, fine with me.
Not fine with me. Damn, no, I don't care. YouTube is doing something else. They're calling it "We Are One," a global film festival. YouTube is teamed with Tribeca Enterprises, which is a film festival, which controls a lot of film festivals, to put on a virtual film festival. We talked a bit about SXSW teaming up with Amazon Prime to do a similar thing. This is a lot more film festivals. From May 29th to June 7th, with no advertisements, that's a big thing. The Cannes Film Festival, the Toronto International Film Festival, Sundance Film Festival, Berlin International Film Festival, Tribeca Film Festival, and Venice Film Festivals will all be showing their films on YouTube.
Holy shit!
Whoa!
Because
all the festivals.
Yeah, because all of the festivals are being canceled right now. So putting them all on YouTube. So all those films, things like that. Not just the films. The full schedules will be released at a later date, and it will help have people encourage donations, much like Mainframe Comic-Con did, to encourage donations to help. It is free. It's available on YouTube for free.
These are all new movies none of us have ever seen for free.
Yep.
That's too good. That's good on you guys. That's really good.
I would feel for sure this would be like a YouTube Red or exclusive or something. But
it's free on YouTube with no advertisements.
I want to donate. I would definitely want to help if I can.
SXSW will not be a part of it because they've already made the deal with Amazon Prime, obviously, which also is free to their credit. Mm-hmm. It's going to function as the same capacity as a normal film festival. So there's going to be panel discussions, music entertainment, showcases for feature-length films, short films, documentaries, and stand-up comedy. It's going to be the same film festival, just on YouTube.
It's like Mainframe Comic-Con almost.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is so
really cool. I thought that was really awesome.
Dude, you could realistically have a 1 million person film festival, like 1 million people watching the movie on YouTube and talk about it. Like that is so good. I love this.
This will get more people to watch a lot of these films also.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Big fan.
This is gonna sound bad, but I always thought those film festivals were for like really what's the proper word to say it?
They're indie movies, Ben. That's what
I know. I know they're indie movies, but also I just felt like a lot of them were like the really uptight like film snobs.
Well, it's mostly for critics, and so the film festivals generally are exhibitions for critics to see the films and for studios to see if they want to buy the films for distribution. That's what most of the film festivals are for. Obviously, people can still go and watch the movies, but a lot of times when you see a movie in theaters, like a Sony Pictures Classic or a Fox Searchlight, they have bought that film from a film festival to play and to distribute around the country.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's generally what they're for. This time, they still do that. We talked about SXSW doing the same thing, allowing to do the same thing for those films. So I assume the same thing will happen here. I think this is really cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. And it's a whole week. That's a lot of movies.
And stand-up comedy and music festivals. That's so cool.
It is cool.
That's really cool.
People are stuck at home. They got nothing else better to do.
I might be going to work by the end of the month, thanks to the governor. So there's that. Whatever.
Yeah.
Need to find that new job fast. The Academy Awards has talk about petty. This is so funny to me.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, talk about petty. The Academy Awards has temporarily suspended the rules of qualifying films. Films that originally had theatrical releases planned that chose to go to VOD will be allowed to qualify. If they make the film, however, they have to make the film available on the secure Academy Screening Room member-only streaming site within 60 days of its VOD release. As soon as theaters are allowed to reopen, the rules go back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
So you cannot qualify if you're originally going to be VOD. You have to be theater decided to go to VOD instead.
You have to have the corona.
However, when theaters reopened, they will allow more metropolitan areas to qualify, such as Chicago and the Bay Area and things like that. So basically, they're just like, "Oh, we understand. For the 3 months that we're quarantined, you can qualify if you already had theatrical distribution planned. But as soon as theaters reopen, no."
You better be in a theater, or so help you God.
I thought that was hilarious. Where they're just like, "What? You're suspending the rules for like what? a couple months.
Also, isn't it kind of like I'm sure they have to say this like for business reasons, but isn't it kind of assumed that like all these movies are still movies that would have regularly come out? They would have been nominated for an Oscar. Like all these movies that we were going to see are just getting pushed later.
Most of the Oscar movies anyway are going to be out in December anyway.
Yes, but I mean, like Trolls World Tour, like that was going to be a regular movie that's now on VOD. There's only going to be a select number of movies that they're talking about.
Right, exactly. That's why I think this is so weird.
Like nonsense announcement.
Yeah,
It seems petty. Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought that was the weirdest thing.
This is basically them saying like, "Hey, we're allowed VOD now, but if you're only VOD originally, you don't count still."
Yeah.
It's like Netflix, you still don't count. Sorry. I'm like that's
unless Netflix had initially planned to put a movie in theaters.
Yes. I love it.
So dumb. All right. Anyway, let's move on from the stuff and talk about some maybe happy stuff. Some of that stuff was happy, but some more happy stuff. Disney has released some Star Wars news.
Disney.
So boy,
That's
part of the podcast. I see.
Oh.
The Untitled Casting in the Andor series has cast Genevieve O'Reilly as Mon Mothma. This will be her fourth time playing Mon Mothma after the Clone Wars. No, sorry, Rebels and the Revenge of the Sith and Rogue One.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I like that. I like that actress. She looks a lot like the original Mon Mothma.
Yeah,
I like
she's the second best Mon Mothma. Too. She's just like too.
What I like about it is like she's the spitting image of it. And talk about a podcast that I used to listen to. They thought it was the same actress.
It's not. Yeah, like wow, she looks good for her age.
Yeah, seriously. Like she looks really good for her age was an actual sentence that said anyway. Tony Gilroy has also been officially announced as the showrunner of the series. He was initially a consultant, but now he is the showrunner, and he did the reshoots and rewrites for Rogue One.
Yeah, he made that last part of that movie dope. Tony Gilroy, great. This is excellent news.
Leslie Headland, who is the creator of the Netflix original series Russian Doll, is supposedly developing a Star Wars series for Disney Plus. I think that's kind of cool.
Not taking place during any of the times that we know about either.
Yes.
So this could be future or past. I am suspect to think that it's older. It's High Republic, Old Republic. What's it called?
High Republic.
I suspect it might be High Republic related if they're specifically saying that it takes place in a different time period. Because I think they're trying to be synergistic with the High Republic, so I don't think they're going to do something way in the future.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't think they're ready to touch future yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Old Republic stuff.
I'd be into that. I'd be into that. Finally, Ryan's dream has come true.
Is it? Has it?
The Hercules live action film is a go.
0 to hero.
It's only a matter.
It literally is a matter of time. Yeah.
The animated retellings, the Disney animated retellings, keep going, and they have announced this was a weird thing before it was confirmed. Like someone with a blog was just like, "I heard this is happening," and then everyone was like, "Is it? It is happening."
Just a quick side note, by the way, the Hercules stage musical, the Disney one, is going to come back in full force. Alan Menken is writing more music for it right now.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
So the Hercules live action film is threatened to come.
This is one I want.
Yeah, this is one I'm into.
The Russo brothers are apparently. Sorry, say that again, Ryan?
We don't get a lot of Greek mythology movies. Again, like with Assassin's Creed. Like if this allows us to have a Greek mythology movie, I'll allow it.
Make Hercules black.
The Russo brothers are apparently producing, but not directing. They are producing with Agbo Pictures, which is their production company right now. And that's all we really know about it right now.
So are any of you familiar with the stage musical they did in New York?
No.
So Hercules is black in that for the Disney stage show. Hercules was made black because they're leaning into the whole vibe of the muses, and that's the music direction of it. So if they did something like that with the movie, I'd be very happy.
I would too.
I mean, we gotta hope. Hercules, the animated film, is very entrenched in 90s pop culture. So obviously they have to strip all that away. Who knows if he's even going to be a musical? Maybe it'll be like Mulan. Maybe we'll just get a Greek mythology epic.
You need the muses and them singing. Like Hercules has to be a musical, man. No,
especially because like nobody else has to sing except the muses. The muses could be singing representations of the story. That totally still works and vibes.
Either way, I'm into both ideas. I like the idea of Disney just doing like a Greek mythology epic like Mulan, or just remaking a musical like they did with Aladdin. Either one I'm into.
And of course, people are demanding that Danny DeVito reprises Royals Phil.
Well, duh.
He'd be CGI. You can do it.
No duh. It should be him.
You just put green screen on his legs. He's already gross.
He's a trash man.
He's been preparing for the role for 10 years on It's Always Sunny.
Philatides will be completely CGI. Like, let's not kid ourselves.
He doesn't know. He could still be gross, tiny Danny DeVito just with goat legs.
No, but what I'm saying is like Disney will jump at the opportunity to make a completely CGI character again. Danny DeVito could play him still, but
I just hope they don't. Like have some constraint. You don't need to spend $1 billion.
But it's Disney. They got the money. They know it's gonna make that Hercules is gonna make $1.5 billion probably.
I would love if so many other things are CGI, but Danny DeVito is like practical. It completely. They don't CGI up anything. He's just having to like hoof around in these like weird leg things that he's working with, and he's like, every once in a while, his horn is lopsided.
Yeah,
for real. That's the dream. Like we all like whether you want all these Disney remakes or not. Like Hercules is the one that I want to see on the big screen the most. Because that is pure Greek mythology, heroism with awesome songs, and I love Danny DeVito.
And honestly, like really cool designs.
Yeah.
Translate those to live action. That'd be great.
I want to see Hades, like a live action Hades, like what that would look like. Baby, give it to me.
Okay, you want to see a live action Hades? Watch Once Upon a Time.
Does it look like
no.
Brandon, why'd you have to do that? No. Did you seriously have to do that?
He does have the fire hair, I will say.
I'll look
for 2 seconds.
Anyway, like we alluded up top, Westworld has been renewed for a 4th season.
And reportedly going up to a 6th for its final.
Yeah, but it's not been official. HBO has just greenlit the 4th season.
I know.
It's interesting because this is Westworld's lowest viewed season. The critical response is better than season 2 because a lot of people didn't like season 2. Mm-hmm. That looks bad. It's the guy from. It's that guy.
Yeah, it's that guy.
Sucks. That's a bad Hades. I'm sorry.
Well, you showed the Hades from Once Upon a Time.
Yeah,
I told you. And he only turns the hair on for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's
2 seconds even.
What do you expect? This is ABC CGI budget.
Oh Lord.
What were we just talking about?
Westworld.
Westworld. The critical response is more positive than season 2, but less people are watching it. So it makes me really happy that they're still going forward with more seasons because I think this season is like I still think season 1 is the best season, but what they've done with the show and where it's been taken, I'm like, wow, you guys could really do whatever you want. Like it's open. So great.
We have some extended DC news, not DC extended Worlds of DC, whatever they're calling the franchise, but just kind of what's going on in the DC universe. Patty Jenkins has confirmed that there is a Wonder Woman 3 coming. We expect as much. She said that she has a arc planned for a trilogy and what the third one will be about. But she also confirmed that there's an Amazon movie spinoff.
So we got the Trench and we got the Amazon movies.
Yeah. And Patty Jenkins says that she doesn't want to direct it. She wants to direct it, but she's going to resist directing it. So we'll see what happens there.
She also said that like she's imagining it as part of her arc.
Yes.
Like between 2 and 3. So it is still incorporated in what she wants.
Yeah.
Which I think is cool.
It's the Hobbs and Shaw of the Wonder Woman.
It's a good opportunity for her to get another female director in there.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Birds of Prey director. I'd do it. Anyway.
Good action. Yeah.
If they don't give her a sequel, then yeah.
Superman Man of Tomorrow, which is the newest animated movie from DC Animation, released a cast and a screenshot. And I gotta say, the animation from that screenshot alone got me excited.
It's definitely not the old New 52 look.
Yeah,
right?
It looks completely different. It looks really interesting. I'm totally
into this. I'm gonna look at it real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
And the voice cast is weird and interesting.
Right. Yeah.
The voice cast was also announced. Darren Criss is going to be Superman. Music Meister from Supergirl and The Flash. Just saying.
He's from Glee.
Glee, yeah. Zachary Quinto as Lex Luthor.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Brett Dalton from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as Parasite.
Okay.
Ryan Hurst from The Walking Dead as Lobo.
Ryan Hurst.
He's big guy, beard. I don't watch Walking Dead, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well, if it's a big guy, Lobo works.
Yeah. Ike Amadi, who is actually in Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion Revenge in the movie we just watched.
Oh, cool.
He was also Spartan Locke from the Halo 5.
Oh, okay, that guy.
You know, the guy who looked like
Mike Coulter? Mike Coulter, yeah. What a weird thing that was. Oh man.
Oh wow, that is a different look.
Yeah.
I dig it. It kind of reminds me of like the old Fletcher 30s cartoons.
Yeah, that's why I liked it.
Oh yeah, good call.
He's playing Martian Manhunter.
Mm-hmm.
Neil Flynn, the janitor from Scrubs, is playing Jonathan Kent.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
He's playing a DC animated voice.
Yeah. And Bellamy Young as Martha Kent. Now, I don't know this actress, but she has been on Scrubs as well and a couple of other things. I'm not so familiar with her.
Scrubs Reunion.
But yeah, she plays Martha Kent, so I thought that was a really good voice cast.
Do you know the story of this yet?
Not yet. No plot details were. Well, the plot details were like, it's Superman. He's trying to balance being Superman and Clark Kent, so it's like we don't really know a whole lot.
Okay. Like, I wonder if this is if they're trying to reboot a universe and this is their new Superman story, or if this is just a one-off thing.
If they're all in this animation style, bring it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Do something new. Yeah.
Yeah.
Charles Palmer, who was actually a director on Voltron: Legendary Defender, and he did art direction for Avatar: Legend of Korra, Voltron, a couple of other things, Justice League Action, DC Superhero Girls, tons of stuff. Is directing this, so this is actually his second directing thing outside of Voltron. Tim Sheridan.
That's a good sign because they normally get the same couple directors for these last they get Sam Liu and some of these other guys who just keep directing these movies. This is a fresh take. I'm thank God.
And it comes from Voltron, which was my favorite show, so that was really exciting for me. Tim Sheridan is writing it. Now he also worked on DC Superhero Girls, Justice League Action, tons of DC stuff. So he's kind of an in-house DC guy.
I love Justice League Action. So
yeah, so he's writing the movie. I thought all of that was cool.
Yeah. I'm into it.
One more thing, as far as the DC universe goes, Jeff Johns has joined the Green Lantern HBO Max series as executive producer.
That can hopefully that means good things.
We'll see what Stargirl comes out if he's gotten any better.
Oh, that's true. Oh yeah.
Because he was producer and writer on Wonder Woman, and so he learned from a Green Lantern. I hope.
It's true. Yeah.
All of it. So some comic book news. Diamond is really the only significant thing that happened in the comic book world is that Diamond is beginning its plan to open the comic book industry distribution on May 20th. And so a lot of companies, Boom Studios, even DC, Marvel, they have put up new FOC, which is Final Order Cutoff. For those of you who are not comic book readers or entrenched in that world, for distribution. So it looks like it's happening. It looks like they're going to move heaven and earth to get comics out to the people again.
They sure are, but I didn't look on the DC side, but there are a lot of Marvel books missing. A lot of Marvel books missing.
So what was interesting about Marvel's, and I saw that too, but what Marvel is doing is they're going to alternate between single issues and trades. Single issues and trades. And they're withholding a lot of books because of that, because they're not releasing new series week after week, new books week after week. So Thor isn't coming out till June or July, I think. And I think it's kind of smart because you're not trying to overload the industry right now when it comes out. And it's the same reason why Dark Knight's Death Metal wasn't part of DC's initial plan, and when it launched its new distribution method, we're going to wait for the big ones because we know we want every store to be open when the big ones come out.
That's true. I just want my X-Men books.
I agree. I want the X-Men books too. I want Thor and Guardians and Immortal Hulk, but
I miss my comic books.
Me too. I was putting my comic books away in my new office space, and I'm just like, I just want to go back to the store. Free Comic Book Day was this weekend. Was supposed to be this weekend.
Supposed to be this weekend, yeah. But
R.I.P. Free Comic Book Day 2020.
Pour one out for Free Comic Book Day 2020.
Yeah, it's entirely possible they'll bring it back by the end of the summer because those comic books are printed and done, so they got to do something with them.
Just waiting.
Sparks is back, so I can say that Dan Slott is leaving Iron Man.
That's for me. That should be for me.
I'm always happy when Dan Slott leaves a book.
Iron Man 2020 number 6 will be Dan Slott's last Iron Man issue.
Hey guys, you know how it feels to have an Iron Man tattoo and not reading an Iron Man book?
It hurts.
Sucks.
I can relate.
Yeah.
It always sucks when you can't read your favorite character or watch your favorite character for any reason because there's someone on it that you don't like.
I just wanted to basically agree that about the comic stuff because I had to go to the restroom. That I feel like it is smart to hold off so that all the local comic shops are able to get on board because some are still even mandated to not be able to do anything or have to work out their business loans with the government and all kinds of things. So anything to give them the chance to be able to catch up.
Yeah. More comic book news. I thought this was cool. We don't normally talk about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, except for if you watch Made from Comic-Con.
Yeah.
But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin, is the newest IDW Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series. Kevin Eastman is doing layouts once again. It's written by Tom Waltz and with art by Andy Kuhn. It's going to be a 5-issue miniseries. And here's the logline. In a future New York City, far different from the one we know today, a lone surviving turtle goes on a seemingly hopeless mission to obtain justice for its fallen family and friends.
Who is it?
Cool.
Who is it? Who's the fallen turtle?
Oh. We don't know. So there's one turtle alive, and the other 3 are dead.
Of the 4.
Of the 4, yeah. So of the 4, 1 is alive, and he's going on revenge. And I think
don't forget the lady turtle. There's 5 turtles now.
No, this is a different continuity than that.
Oh, just kidding.
Yeah, and also we don't know how long the lady turtle's sticking around. Did you know how that happened? Did you read how that happened?
Blood transfusion. We talked about it.
It's the same way as She-Hulk happened.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, I think that sounds cool. I might actually pick this one up.
Yeah.
Let's see. Transformers news, guys. Transformers. We all like Transformers. Paramount was like, you guys can do animation from home, right? Okay, we're going to greenlight an animated prequel film. Oh, there's that.
So they say prequel film, but they also say it's not attached to any other film. So I'm like, so it's just a film. It's just an
animated film. Yeah. The cool thing about this is that Josh Cooley, who is the director of Toy Story 4, is attached to direct with Andrew Barr and Gabriel Ferrari, who wrote Ant-Man and the Wasp, writing the script. It's going to focus on the relationship between Optimus and Megatron, and it's going to be set completely on Cybertron.
Oh, so this is way before the war even starts.
Might be during the war, might be early days. We don't know.
I would love, because like all the games and like most of the stuff, it's already like when the war is happening. Like I would love to see them be BFFs. Have we ever seen them when it's just they're cool and they both are guys and Megatron becomes bad?
Right.
Outside of flashbacks.
What?
There are flashbacks of it, but outside of flashbacks.
But there is a novel called Transformers Exodus, which does take place long before it goes into the early days of the war, like when Optimus does become Optimus Prime, but at this point he's still at Orion Pax. And Optimus and Megatron still going by Megatronus at this time.
Yeah.
So there is a book out there that deals with this early stage of Megatron essentially building his Decepticon army and debating politics with Optimus and the caste system on Cybertron before the war began.
I'm pretty sure there's a comic that does it too.
I want it.
I'm pretty sure there's a comic that does that. Yeah.
I would like that as an animated movie. Thank you. But
there is stuff out there that deals with before the war starts on Cybertron.
They also said that they're doing a new live action movie, but they released no details on it. So
yeah, they just released a date. Like, hey, Transformers 7's happening. Like, does it have to though?
It's either Transformers 7 or Bumblebee 2, and they won't say which.
Isn't it Transformers 6?
No, it's 7.
What's the 6th movie?
No.
Oh, he's right. It is 6.
Then why does it say 7?
Because they counted Bumblebee.
Oh. I was like, what? Did I miss a movie?
Yeah, Transformers
I thought
5 is the horrible, crappy movie.
there's-
last night.
Oh,
Yeah.
the 7th Transformers movie. Got it.
It still blows my mind that is a movie that exists anyway.
What,
Hellraiser.
Transformers or Bumblebee?
Transformers: The Last Night.
Oh yeah, that.
Like, have you ever tried to like tell someone the plot of that movie?
Yeah, you got Merlin.
So
you start there and you're just like, okay, bear with me.
Yeah.
Merlin shows up and he's drunk and he's Stanley Tucci, but not Stanley Tucci who's related to the Stanley Tucci of the last movie, but a different
That's the
Stanley
most
Tucci.
baffling thing
No.
in that whole franchise. It's
I
like,
just
why would you
remember-
cast this guy?
a few years ago, I was flying back home from Orlando. Adam looks to me and says, "Hey, should I watch Transformers last night?" And I tell him, "Don't." And he's like, "Why?" I'm like, "It's that bad."
Watch
He's
it
like,
drunk.
"Is it worse than 2? It's 10 times worse than 2, I would argue. Or it's bad. It's bad."
I think
I'm
6
like,
probably has better action.
5.
I think 5 has better action. Maybe.
Not that anymore.
I agree with Ryan. I think 5 is less of a like offending.
It's more
blemish.
fun to
Yeah.
watch bad. Where Revenge of the Fallen is just like, oh, this is just racist.
No, last night, I hate them. I hate both those movies.
That's fair, but like I
Yeah.
definitely think Revenge of the Fallen is far more like racist and sexist
It's
to a
true.
degree that's
That's
almost
very true.
insufferable.
Is Anthony Hopkins in the last night?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
It's automatically better.
yeah. Last night's automatically better because of that.
All right.
Well, here's
Well, in my defense, the last time I saw last night was when it was in theaters.
Same.
Same, yeah.
so
But I've seen Revenge of the Fallen since then, and I still hated it more.
So Hellraiser. We talked about Hellraiser a little bit ago, that they're making a new movie, a rebooted film. This is a Child's Play situation, guys. Child's Play is getting a TV series that's a sequel to the last movie, and it has a reboot movie. So Hellraiser is getting an HBO TV series. HBO's greenlit this series. They've been trying to do this since 2012. David Gordon Green is going to direct the pilot and a couple of early episodes.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
Mark Verheiden, who is a writer on Battlestar Galactica and Daredevil, and Michael Dougherty, Godzilla King of the Monsters director and writer, and Trick or Treat director and writer, is scripting the series.
Can you remind me, what was the first name you said again? The David Gordon Green?
David Gordon Green.
Ben, he directed Halloween.
Oh,
new one.
bad.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
He's the comedy guy who became a horror director, and now he's just doing way more like Jordan Peele, and I love it.
So this is what David Gordon Green had to say about the project. He says, "The idea is to create an elevated continuation and expansion of the well-established Hellraiser mythology. It is by no means a remake, but rather assumes the past mythology to be a given."
It's Halloween. That's great. That's perfect.
But I mean, it's even more. They're just kind of like, yeah, the last movies happened, even if we don't talk about it. It's more like Ash vs. the Evil Dead, where like we assume Army of Darkness happens, but they don't mention
Okay, yeah.
it. So I think that's kind of cool. I'm interested in that.
I love this franchise, even though half the movies are really bad. The fact that it's on HBO means that it's going to get a budget, and like it's going to have some good ass scary practical effects. So I'm about it.
I agree. Before we get too much further down the list, because I was just checking the news,
Oh, right.
I wanted to talk about Aftershock's Kaiju score.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that. Yes.
Yeah. It's a new series from writers James Patrick, artist Rem Brew, and letterer David Sharp. I think the fastest way to describe it in general is what I put in the pitch. The Kaiju Score is a Quentin Tarantino film taking place in some corner of a Godzilla movie. Is what Patrick said. You have this giant canvas of a kaiju attack occurring, and as it happens, there's this more personal story going on. And after that setup, it explores how these 4 characters who are in just the worst situation in their lives believe the only way out is to do the impossible thing, this crazy crime. It's about that desperation. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
It does sound really cool.
I love the idea of just like a Tarantino story set in Godzilla.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm
like
super stoked for
A
that.
heist movie, and then there's like a giant foot in the background.
Yeah.
You mean it's
so
kind of like the Hurricane Heist movie?
Yeah, Hurricane Heist.
No.
But with an actual, but with like a Godzilla instead of a hurricane.
Yeah.
yeah. That goes on sale November 25th later this year.
Cool.
You know, Hurricane Heist is directed by the same guy who directed Fast and the Furious, the first one.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Yeah. I wanted to watch that movie, but
That dude could have been making $1 billion franchise, and yet he's making Hurricane Heist.
could have been. Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
My dogs are going crazy downstairs, I guess. I don't know why.
All right.
All right, Lego news. Normally we wouldn't really talk about this, but Lego has been with Warner Brothers for a long time, since the first Lego movie, and now they have partnered with Universal. Universal has bought them out.
Oh,
This is weird.
Universal Studios will now be the controlling interest in the Lego franchise. So any future Lego films will be Universal based.
If you think about all the Lego stuff, it's a lot of Warner Brothers properties, right?
Yeah.
I mean, these heroes are super prominent, like Lego Batman.
Like all of the Lego games most of them are Warner Brothers properties. Fast and the Furious Lego, here we go, baby.
To be fair, the Lego games really cover a wide thing beyond just the Warner Brothers properties.
There's like Jurassic Park, Lego.
But if you look at the Lego movie, all Warner Brothers stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that makes sense because it was, controlled by Warner Brothers at the time.
No, that's what I mean. Like, if they make another Lego movie, none of those characters can be in it.
True.
No more Lego Batman.
That's what I mean.
I'd be into Dominic Toretto showing up in a Lego movie.
I would too, but not as much as more of the Warner Brothers characters, more than Batman.
True. So yeah, I guess Batman will no longer be in it. But I mean, unless they make a deal with Warner Brothers to do it.
I question if they even will make another Lego movie
after the second one.
Yeah,
even though
at least another one that's like tied into that world that they had, especially considering this deal. I'm like, if there's another Lego movie, it's gonna have nothing to do with that stuff.
Yeah. I think it's a shame because that first Lego movie proved that like they can do incredible stuff with Legos, and now this makes me feel like, oh, now we can. Now we have it. Let's just ruin it.
Yeah. And then everybody loved Lego Batman.
Yeah.
And then the Lego Movie 2 just didn't make money.
Yeah.
That sucks. Even though it was good, but like it didn't make money. And that's the thing is like I think even if Universal does it, like nobody cares, and they'll care even less if it's not connected to that first one.
Especially because Lord and Miller aren't involved anymore.
Yeah.
And they are the funny people of the Lego movies.
God, I remember as of now, Lord and Miller. They made a point to be like, as of now, Lord and Miller are not part of it.
They're busy being with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. Goosebumps.
Ooh.
Neil H. Moritz who has been a producer of the first two Goosebumps movies, is adapting the series of books into a TV series. Did I have a stroke? A TV series.
That's how I watched them originally. So
same here.
Do it again.
We don't know if it's an anthology like the original show or if it's a continuation of the movies, but
I hope so. I want them to just be retellings of those books with modern technology.
Oh yeah.
Like just because those books are still good, just do the same thing, just change things up.
Yeah,
I'd be a fan.
I'm down.
Because we got those movies already.
Yeah, I like those movies. I like those movies a whole lot.
And also those are some pretty good books too.
Yeah.
Just like obviously update the effects, but also maybe toss in a few things for the 24th century that kids today know, and just maybe twist the stories around that. That could work.
Cell phone.
Yeah. Yes, you hear the Elote Man?
I hear the Elote Man.
We have a drug dealer.
Is he a drug dealer?
So, well, I don't know. Right now, maybe not. But there's an ice cream truck that drives by the street every now and then, and it's an ice cream truck, and it's pitch black, and he plays like this radar noise, like boop, 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 boop. And it just says ice cream on the side.
It could be the FBI. It might not be a drug dealer.
Really, really weird. Anyway, I saw
the Men in Black ice cream truck.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Doctor Who news. We haven't talked about Doctor Who in a long time, guys.
We're all behind.
We all like a version. Well, maybe not Ben. We all like a version of the Doctor. Ben,
I watched Christopher Eccleston.
You watched the season.
Yeah, I did. I like 3 episodes of David Tennant.
Anyway, we all like a specific era of Doctor Who. I would think. Well, anyway, BBC is going to launch a immersive multi-platform story called Doctor Who: Time Lord Victorious. Now, if that name sounds familiar, it is what David Tennant called himself at the end of his third to last special before the end of time. He called himself the Time Lord Victorious. And then he went into the end of time. This takes place after that and before the end of time two-parter, which is awesome. The end of time two-parter still holds up. That show rocks. Love David Tennant. Anyway.
Yeah. I don't want to go.
Set within the dark times at the start of the universe, when even the Eternals were young, it features the 8th, 9th, and 10th Doctors traveling across space and time as they defend the universe from a terrible race. Rose, the Daleks, and the Ood will be a part of it, as well as more creatures and characters to pop up. This is very interesting because Christopher Eccleston refuses to do anything with Doctor Who.
I thought that too.
Comic books.
And then I found out something.
What?
Christopher Eccleston did an interview late last year where he talked about how he started going to Doctor Who fan conventions for the first time last year, and it healed something inside of him. And he is now looking back on his time on Doctor Who in a more positive light, because connecting with people who have not just adored his career as the Doctor, but his career on a whole, because he would have fans come up to him with memorabilia from across his entire career, has changed his perspective on his time as the Doctor, and he feels more proud about it. So there's a possibility that Christopher Eccleston will come back and be involved in some amount. And this isn't meaning like a new show, but there are common audio productions for Doctor Who. David Tennant and Paul McGann have both been part of them before. I highly suspect we know there will be an audio story attached to this.
Well, that's what I was going to say, is that, Christopher Eccleston doesn't do this, but there are audio books being put out by Big Finish for this endeavor. And I can only imagine that if you have the Ninth Doctor, that we are going to get a Big Finish Ninth Doctor, and it will be Christopher Eccleston.
You think
I think so. I think so.
I don't think they would go forward.
I didn't think so until I read that article, and I'm like, oh no, we might actually get it.
And now David Tennant used to do didn't used to do Big Finish until much more recently. He did a bunch of BBC audio before he did Big Finish. Big Finish is basically where all the past Doctors go to keep doing Doctor Who.
Correct.
And this is really exciting. The Eighth Doctor Big Finish stories is how I became a fan of the Eighth Doctor. He's my favorite Doctor. But we're going to get audio. We're going to get novels. We're going to get comics. We're going to get vinyl. That was a weird thing to mention, vinyl.
Yes.
We're going to get records. There's going to be digital. Right. There's going to be immersive theater and escape rooms and games.
Yes.
Very interesting multi-platform.
Yeah, the way they're going about this rings very much of the way High Republic was talked about, but on a slightly larger scale for Doctor Who. I'm really optimistic about this.
Me too.
It's supposed to run for 12 weeks straight.
Yes, so from September 2020 this year to January 2021, 12 weeks straight.
Yeah. If you look up, anyone listening or Ben, if you look up the image attached for this, it's really cool because right center is David Tennant's Doctor, but he's wearing classic Time Lord garb.
Yeah.
It's very much in my mind, based on where it's taking place, it's very much hinting at a very dark version of David Tennant's Doctor. Yeah. I'm super into that.
I'd love to see Paul McGann come back again, no matter what. So that's exciting for me.
This feels like the people who are more connected to Doctor Who now post Moffat wanting to put a more clean stamp on those previous Doctors without the Moffat era stuff attached. To kind of like not necessarily change or fix continuity, but more smooth it over to feel a little more fleshed out in this time period of those Doctors.
This feels like, to me, and to bounce off what you're saying, I was very disappointed in the Day of the Doctor. It's not. I wouldn't count it as one of my favorites. I wasn't crazy about Moffat's tenure as Doctor Who slightly before that, and it's a fine episode.
He's what made you stop watching.
Yeah, and to see this is that 50th anniversary that I thought we were going to get, because you have Paul McGann and you have Eccleston. Like, you throw in Matt Smith, I'm good with Matt Smith. Do it. I like Matt
Billy
Smith.
Piper. The first time I watched Doctor Who, that with Eccleston, I had the biggest crush on Billy Piper, and I did for years. And then she was
a show for you, buddy.
What?
Yeah,
I got a show for you, buddy.
Is it called Penny Dreadful?
No, it's called Diary
of a Call Girl.
Oh man, because she's a call girl also in Penny Dreadful. So I got my Piper all piped up. But I like her a lot, and like the fact that this feels like an actual big reunion. I'm like, this is like the 50th anniversary that we should have got. Yeah.
To me, this feels like that anniversary episode that I dreamt of, that I wanted, and especially where it's placed, which is those specials are incredible. So kind of bouncing off of that, like, I'm super stoked for this. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued with what they're going to announce about what specifically is going to be there. I'm going to check out these books. I'm going to check out these comics. I'm going to check out these audio adventures. That sounds really, really cool.
If Eccleston does come back, that will be huge for the fans. For the fans.
Massive.
Oh my God, Doctor Who will be number one in the world. Oh,
yeah.
He wouldn't even come back for the 50th because Moffat screwed him over anyway.
No, it's true. And so that's why I'm like, this that article about Eccleston talking more favorably about his time and like being excited about going to conventions and things, I'm like, oh, this might happen. This might be really, really cool.
Yeah.
This might be really great.
Look who it is.
Audio.
I'd like to think that this is going to make me, especially with HBO Max now having Doctor Who.
Oh yeah.
That I'm going to want to catch up and see the stuff that's now post Moffat that's been really well received, because a lot of the people involved in Doctor Who now are the people who are attached to working on this.
Didn't we watch some of it?
No, we've only been in Capaldi. We have not watched the Lady Doctor.
We haven't?
No.
Jeez. What? Crazy. I thought
But
we
yeah,
did.
I'm hoping that this is kind of like my Dragon Ball Super Broly moment, like what Brandon talked about. Like, oh, I got to go back to Doctor Who. I want to watch the Lady Doctor stuff, because I do. I really do. I want to be watching that right now. The 13th Doctor.
Yeah.
I mentioned it on the show, but she's been doing a really cool thing where she's in character as the Doctor from home, giving like instructions for kids and stuff about washing your hands and things like that.
It's cute.
Which I think is really cute.
Yeah, I thought that was cute. All right, we're finally 2 hours into the episode.
I do want to mention one thing that I forgot to mention in my week recap. I just want to touch on it. A new chapter of Dragon Ball Super, the manga, came out while we were away. And I just want to touch on it because I kind of talked to Ryan about it. It's a very exciting moment in Dragon Ball Super because Goku is fighting Moro, the wizard magician dude.
The Galactus.
The guy who's very magic, and he's using his magic to fight Goku. And Goku has been able to not master Ultra Instinct, but master the form before Ultra Instinct, where he's still got the black hair and blue. He's gotten that a lot more under control, so he's using that. But what's really exciting is Vegeta is still not at the fight. Goku is the one who has shown up early, and Vegeta is late. And this is so exciting. I'm getting the vibes from when Goku fought the androids and succumbed to the virus, and then Vegeta showed up and went Super Saiyan for the first time.
Yeah.
I'm so pumped for Vegeta's arrival, guys. It's nuts. It's so good.
Okay. We are now at trailers. Been 2 hours. But now we're TT. So as our comment section has alluded to, we are going to talk about some of the things that you guys wanted to talk about. HBO Max last week posted all the trailers for their launch titles. They're going to launch May 27th. Two of them that I thought were really...
Yeah.
Two of them that I thought were interesting. Looney Tunes cartoons blew me by surprise. I didn't know they were doing this. I didn't know they were doing this.
Yeah, I was aware.
I remember months ago, I read a message talking about the leaks, about how there's a new Looney Tunes show. I'm like, oh, I guess we'll see when that happens. And then I saw a trailer today.
The Looney Tunes one looks like classic Looney Tunes. I was very happy with it.
It does. Yeah. That actually made me happy because I remember when they did a Looney Tunes show back, I want to say back when we were in college in the early 2010s. It wasn't that good. Like, Bugs and Daffy were roommates, and it just, for me, it was missing that classic Looney Tunes vibe.
I remember that.
I love classic Looney Tunes. I mean,
yeah, this looks like an anthology of short film.
And even Bugs has his classic yellow gloves, like in the very first few Bugs Bunny.
I was going to say the same thing. Yeah,
Bugs Bunny had yellow gloves, and then later on,
they all look like they're in their classic, like early Looney Tunes designs.
Oh yeah.
Bugs's head is much more of like kind of an oval, than
angular. Yeah.
Yeah. But don't get me wrong. The Chuck Jones version of Looney Tunes, to me, those are timeless classics. No one can ever replace those. Those are.
Thank you, Bob Clampett's art style. Yes, you're absolutely correct, Mac.
Yeah, those are absolutely beautiful. But seeing this, it feels like a return to form for Looney Tunes, which is something I feel like Looney Tunes has been missing for essentially for eons.
Hey, just wait for Space Jam 2, baby.
Oh God.
I do want to point out, because Ryan mentioned the same thing while we were watching Looney Tunes, that Boomerang had a show just a few years ago called Bugs, which went back to classic Looney Tunes style stuff.
Okay.
It wasn't as heavily the same as what we're looking at here. There definitely was still like it picked up some cues. It was kind of like a blend of the new Looney Tunes show that was out about a decade ago, mixed with classic Looney Tunes. It was a lot more blended into that kind of nature. But it was kind of the stepping stone to this, and I want to give credit to that team.
Okay.
That they were doing that. It's not like the Looney Tunes weren't putting out quality cartoons. It's just that was on Boomerang and not getting a lot of attention.
Yeah,
much like the cool Scooby-Doo, they were kind of back to back at the same time, and nobody cared about either of them.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited for this.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to, honestly, HBO Max sounds like a streaming service I could get.
Yeah.
Oh, they're also making it free if you have a Hulu add-on. If you have Hulu and you have the HBO add-on, which is already $14.99, I checked. It will upgrade you to HBO Max for free. So there's that.
That's basically it's basically the same as having HBO Now, which we have. It will automatically become HBO Max when HBO Max releases. However, if you do not have HBO Now right now and you want to get HBO Max, you can get a year of it for $12 instead of $15 if you get it before May 27th right now.
$12 a month, baby. It's a good deal.
Yeah, not bad. The other show of note, there's a couple of other things that, whatevers. The other show of note that I thought was really cool was the Not Too Late show with Elmo.
I think this is cute. I think this is freaking adorable.
I'm so ready.
Yeah, I thought this was really adorable, and Elmo is a fun character, and you got John Mulaney on the show. It looks like fun.
It does.
Cookie Monster as his secondary is so good.
The sidekick? Yeah.
My spirit animal.
I am a big fan. Like, I love talk shows. Like, I watch all. Like, I don't watch them live because one, I don't on TV, but I watch them all on YouTube. Like when they come out. But I will absolutely watch an Elmo talk show. That looks hella charming.
I just love like the end line is like, hey, it's called the Not Too Late Show because Elmo's bedtime is 7:30.
Yeah, it's like your favorite 3.5-year-old. They're like, wait, how old's Elmo?
It's kind of for adults.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Or a late show for kids.
Which I'm fine with. I'm totally cool with.
Not too late though.
Yeah,
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 7 released a new trailer.
I was the last person defending the show. I don't really care anymore.
Yes, thank you. I was going to say the same thing. It is like Muppets Tonight in the 90s. Disney released that show.
Muppets Tonight. All right.
The fact that Disney Plus doesn't have the entire Muppet show, all the Muppet shows, is ridiculous.
The fact that they don't have the entire Muppets
everything
is ridiculous.
But they have the ABC series from a couple years ago.
That's nice. I appreciate that because I like that show to an extent. But it drives me nuts that Muppets Tonight is still not available. Holy crap.
Are they on Netflix now?
No, okay. Muppets Tonight has never been made available.
No, I mean, I just mean any of the Muppet stuff.
No, not to my knowledge.
No, I don't think so. Anyway, so Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 7 has a new trailer. The first trailer. This is now they're back in time. It's a 1931. Looks like where they start. I think they're going to bounce to the future, and that's how Daniel Souza shows up. We know that he's going to be in the show. Probably get Agent Carter cameo eventually.
You're very optimistic about them doing it that way.
I don't really care. I'm not going to watch it.
I'll tell you what. I'll watch it after I've caught up on Runaways, Cloak and Dagger, Jessica Jones, and The Punisher, and then maybe I'll watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Because as far as I care, it ended at season 5.
Same.
Yeah.
So when Coulson died, and when he was that
a life model decoy.
It was a decoy.
He right now this Coulson is a life model decoy.
Oh. Okay.
Who cares? Anyway.
Because they couldn't just let it end poetically at season 5.
No. Nope. And it was so good too. That was so good.
All right, let's do this. Lovecraft Country.
County.
Ooh.
County.
No, it's country.
Oh, is
country.
it? I thought it was county.
Nope, it's country.
Country.
I thought it was country. I thought it was county as well, and to me it made more sense. But no, it's country. It's Lovecraft Country.
Lovecraft Country looks pretty cool.
Ooh.
Yeah. This is another politically charged.
Because it's like saying this is Lovecraft Country, son.
Yeah.
When you come here,
this
you're
is
dealing with Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
That's the intent of it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I'm into this.
Yeah, it's a Southern Gothic horror, obviously very African American charged, dealing with like race riots and stuff like that, but also Lovecraft spooky stuff, maybe. Like I love it. Like a guy coming back into town because his dad's missing. Also, Lovecraft monsters are here.
The second it said Lovecraft Country, and then I saw that monster, I'm like, oh, this is Ryan's jam.
Oh, 100%. And again, it's HBO, so like it's got that money, honey.
It does.
It's not afraid to be scared.
Also, Jordan Peele's executive producer.
Yeah.
Always cool.
Oh, yeah.
These trailers are...
Journey Smollett from Birds of Prey, she's in it. Black Mary's in it. Yep.
Nice. These trailers are all over the place, so let's just go to Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Ha ha ha, yeah. I'm a big fan of Assassin's Creed.
The third Origin movie, right?
What?
Because it's a sequel to Assassin's Creed Origin and Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and so Assassin's Creed Valhalla, right? It's 3.
Oh, yes. Yes. It's yeah, I think you should be now. Yes. There aren't technically, it is the next sequel of Assassin's Creed games, but they're not so much connected as much as you think they would be. They're kind of just more self-contained fun games that explore the origins of the Assassins and the Templars and stuff. But this one looks sick, and all the stuff you can do in it. The trailer's cool, but it's a CG trailer, so that doesn't give you any indication of what the gameplay is. But as someone who's played both of the newest Assassin's Creed games, giant open worlds, it plays like The Witcher, Ben. These are the Witcher. These are the Witcher games now. You got gear that you can upgrade. You have mounts you can ride. Dual weapons. I took a picture of all the stuff that's great in it. Yeah, so the biggest thing is, let me find it. Hold on.
Verse-offs.
Yeah, so additionally, Valhalla will introduce the competitive sport of flighting, aka Viking rap battles. So that's cool. You're going to have Viking rap battles. I don't know what that's going to sound like or look like, but that sounds great.
Have they taken the plunge and just done mythology yet, or is this still like historically accurate, essentially?
No, that's the thing. Since Origins, they've had Medusas and Krakens, and I fought a Cyclops and Centaurs. And because you are in the Animus, you are in a simulation of the past. You deal with monsters that aren't actually there. So it's historical fiction.
I see. So that's their way of getting around the mythology aspect of it. They can incorporate the mythology.
Because as good as a lot of those games are, they were kind of restricting in like we want to be a big sci-fi game, but we also want to be really historically accurate, and you just can't have both. You just can't do it. It doesn't work together. So that's why some of those games start to fail. After 4, they were just like, we can still do all the history stuff, but have also all the fictional stuff that makes history cool. Or make fake history cool. So like, yeah, I'm fighting Cyclopses and dragons in Odyssey and stuff like that. And I have superpowers and stuff. But Valhalla is about Vikings, and it just looks really cool.
I really like the trailer. How we see like the King of England talking about how these are godless people. And
damn it, Brandon, I was just about to say that.
Yeah. So it's it's King Alfred of Wessex. He's the actual king of England during the 9th century. A lot of the stuff is historically accurate, but also again like. You see, maybe that's Odin who turns into a raven, maybe. Like that kind of stuff is all over the place with these games. So I'm very excited. The thing I like about this game is it's not because it takes place so far in the past. They're not called the Assassins and they're not called the Templars. They're still using their old Assassin's Creed Origin and Odyssey names. They're the hidden ones and like the masked ones, basically. But this takes place like in the beginnings of the Assassin's Hood. So like your character Ivor, the king of these Vikings, he gets in the middle of the Assassins and Templars. Much like Assassin's Creed 4, you don't start as an assassin or start as a Templar. You are brought into their world. And that's a very interesting way of going about it. I'm very excited for this game. This one looks like, of the 3 games that have come out, this one looks to be like the winner, like the one that they've been building up to like the perfect Assassin's Creed game. So
are these mostly standalone? Could you just pick up one and just play it?
Of course.
I've been interested in this, but I know like the original 3, they really led into each other.
Yes. So yeah, the original games I follow Desmond Miles, and then in each game you do different ancestors. But in the new games, you follow Layla Miller. I think her name's Layla Miller. That's an X-Men character. Never mind. But her name's Layla, and you are basically there's very little modern stuff. It's basically, hey, I'm trying to learn about the past. Play this game for 100 hours. So the modern stuff's honestly not even very important.
Okay.
From what I gathered from Ryan, like if you, much like Brandon, want to get into the mythology pieces, you can just go to Assassin's Creed Origins, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and Valhalla. Yeah. And you don't have to touch any of the other Assassin's Creed games.
Much like comic books, like if you know the other games, it helps. But like they've very clearly taken a path of like, we know our history is stupid and it's convoluted, and there's 7 games that don't make sense. So just don't worry about it. Have fun as a Viking.
Okay, I'm into that.
I like that.
Speaking of having fun as a Viking, no, that doesn't work. I'm sorry. The Great has the first trailer. This is from the director of The Favorite. This is the writer of The Favorite. The writer of The Favorite. This is the new Hulu series starring Nicholas Hoult and Elle Fanning.
Yeah.
This looks really good.
It does.
It's Russian The Favorite.
I'm excited, and I'll watch Elle Fanning in anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he throws the dog off the balcony, he's like, for science! And it's just the parachute.
Oh, thank God.
It's like very dark comedy. Like, it's like, what century is it? It's like the 17th century or something. I don't know, but it's like, it's olden times. So like women can't talk or vote. So it's like, oh, honey, you don't talk right now. She's like, oh, okay. And you slowly see how she's gaining power, and maybe she's going to kill him and become the Empress of Russia. I don't know my Russian history. I'm going to look it up and maybe spoil myself.
Catherine the Great, she was one of Russia's great leaders. It was her, and obviously the Tsars that followed, and then of course then you have Lenin, the Communist Party, and all that. But Catherine the Great is seen as one of the great Russian leaders, from what I can remember from world history in sophomore year of high school. That's like 13 years ago. But we did talk about Catherine. We did learn about Catherine the Great, how she did like essentially bring Russia up. So I'm actually looking forward to this. This being kind of like it's a historical comedy with some fun things thrown in there.
I played the Civilization games, and whenever you play Russia, you play as Catherine. So I guess she's very important.
Oh yeah, yeah. Catherine the Great. Essentially Catherine the Great is kind of like the Queen Elizabeth, or Queen Victoria. Queen Victoria. That's a better one.
All right. Speaking of, that was a bad one. I'm not even going to say it.
Yeah, jeez.
Love Victor also had a trailer. Speaking of Hulu, Love Victor had a trailer.
More like just a scene from a movie.
Yeah.
Love Victor.
It
was a spin-off of Love, Simon.
Yeah, it's a charming scene, but I'm like, it's interesting when they just release clips instead of just trailers, because this is just a clip from the show. I'm like, well, I know the tone of the show now. That's good.
Just like that movie, it's very similar stylistically. But the big deal was that they released the release date. Also, my cat's here again. June 19th is the release date for this one.
Cool.
Oh, okay. I'd watch it. I like Love, Simon a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Disney Gallery. This is, oh my God, my cat. Nope. he did that. He likes my new office. Okay. Disney Gallery, The Mandalorian. This is the new Disney Plus TV series, kind of behind the scenes TV series of how they made The Mandalorian. I'm really, really stoked for this because I really like how they made The Mandalorian. I think that technology is revolutionary. So in order to kind of go back and actually get some answers for how they did it rather than just speculating, I'm so excited.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
I love behind the scenes making of movies, especially sci-fi movies. Like, how do you make things that aren't real? What is that like? Like,
the whole thing with like the whole thing with the script with the LED screens to get the natural lighting effect, and so that people have something to bounce off of. 8 episodes of that, I'm in. Give me that.
Oh yeah,
8 episodes.
It's gonna be an 8 episode. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna know everything about that show.
Yeah, and I'm stoked. Like I said, the technology is revolutionary, and I think it can change the film industry for the better. Yeah. I'm so stoked.
Oh yeah, I would just love to see how they made that. Like seeing a side by side of like Nick Nolte in full makeup just on that one monster, that one creature I can't remember.
He's not the cat.
If you think an 80-year-old man is in tiny prosthetics, like you gotta,
or just a
little Asian girl, and he voices her. I'm not actually. I'm serious.
It's Warwick Davis.
The actor on that monster, and then they're able to turn that into a CGI. You know what I'm talking about? Just the way they did the effects from like practical to CGI. Just that I'm into it.
Same.
Yeah, I'm really stoked. Blood Quantum. It's a new Shudder movie. I guess it was supposed to go to theaters initially, but they're just putting it on their streaming service Shudder.
Yeah, it looks like a low budget zombie movie, just like a different kind of take on it. I think some of the shots look really good. It has some intersplicing of animation, which I'm always a big fan of.
Yeah,
they did that in Deadly Class that I really liked.
Mandy too.
Mandy as well. Yeah, it just looks like a decent little zombie movie. The thing I'm interested in is it has an almost like predominantly Native American cast, so they're speaking their native language like throughout the trailer, and I think that's just an interesting take that you don't get to see very often. I think that's cool.
Also,
the premise is essentially that this group of people are immune to the zombie the virus.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, because you don't normally see that in zombie movies of people who are immune to the disease. If you get bit, you're done. But there are some people who have gotten bit. It's like, oh crap, I'm not a zombie.
Yeah, it's like a Last of Us kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. BPM, bullets per minute. You can tell I'm kind of fading reading out this news.
Oh, it's okay. Hey guys, let's go to Helheim. I'm into it.
Yeah, this when you first told me about this, I thought it was going to be just another generic video game, but like you got to shoot on the beat of heavy metal. That sounds.
So there's a game that I'm sure you're aware of, but Ben and I know about. It's called Crypt of the Necrodancer. It's a rhythm platforming game where you have to move to the beat, and now they've made a first-person shooter Doom version of that, where you have to shoot on the beat, jump on the beat, reload on the beat. And like if you've seen the trailer, you see the reticles are constantly going like this. That's the beat. So you always have to be shooting or reloading on that beat. And I think the premise alone is really fun. I love rhythm games, whether it's dancing games, Guitar Hero games, or actual regular video games. Mario Party sometimes. I just think it looks hella fun. It looks like Doom. We're all fans of Doom. And I know mythology, so Helheim, let's kill some demons.
Yeah.
When I saw this trailer, I was like, this is Crypt of the Necrodancer mixed with Doom.
I figured you'd like it then.
Yeah, I like the idea of it a lot. I do wish the visual palette was a little more varied.
I think it's a budget.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Yeah. I do get it. I just think it'll get a little wearing to look at a lot of red and yellow for that long.
Maybe.
Yeah. I understand that. Yeah. All right, Made of Scare. Made as an M-A-I-D, not M-A-D-E.
Yes. So this again, this is like a lower budget horror game, but I'm just intrigued by it because it's based off Welsh folklore and Welsh horror stories, and that's not something I know anything about. But apparently deals with nicely dressed men in masks. It's
just like blind.
Could they be blind? Oh,
because you see a lot of like shots of them like holding their.
Yes. So like movement and stuff. Yeah, that could be it. It looks just like one of those atmospheric like first person horror games, like we played Resident Evil, Ben, something like that.
I was gonna say it looks very, very atmospheric.
Yeah. And I'm interested in it, and it's coming out later this year, so it looks cool.
And then the last trailer we have, Destroy All Humans, had a new trailer and a release date of July 28th. This is the remake of the new series of the old PlayStation 2 video game.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of that original game. I think we all are.
Me too. I like the game a whole lot.
I think I never owned it. I think I just rented it from Blockbuster, but we really liked it.
I want to say we've been waiting. We got a trailer for this game like last year.
Last E3.
Yeah, E3. Yeah, it's been almost a whole year.
And it's only going to be $40 when it launches. They did remake the game instead of just what do they do for the Halo games? Yeah, they just remake.
Yeah.
And it's out in December, and they're really excited.
Yeah. The good thing is a lot of games like this, like Destroy All Humans, even Trials of Mana, a lot of them when they do get this HD remake or re-release, they're always below the full $60 price tag. Since most of the or Final Fantasy for that matter, but
because Resident Evil 2 and 3 are like different.
Yeah. Resident Evil 3 is a 6-hour game.
Yeah.
So that is a $60 6-hour game. That game has no excuse.
But Destroy All Humans looks like fun. I've been wanting to revisit the game for a long time. I know they did make sequels, but I'm stoked.
The first sequel was okay, then the other ones were not good.
Yeah.
So I will definitely love.
I didn't know the second one. I didn't know they made more after 2.
I think they made like 2 more.
I'm pretty sure there's 4, but I don't know.
There was like a Wii one that was real bad.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Or something.
All right, guys. We did it. The marathon of news is over. Let's get into our main topic for the episode, even though technically I guess the news should be the main topic. Unless we have anything more to add?
Nope.
All right. Mortal Kombat Legends, Scorpion's Revenge. This is the new Mortal Kombat animated movie. Full spoilers from here on out. You have been warned. Although if you played the first game, you pretty much know what's going to happen.
Yep.
If you've seen the movie, if you played Mortal Kombat 9, if you played Mortal Kombat 1, 2, or 3,
you've watched our basement arcade,
if you know anything about Mortal Kombat, you know the story.
Yeah,
it's a little different.
So let's dive right into it. I'll just say my initial thoughts a bit to bounce off of what you just said. I do think they did find an interesting way to tackle that story that we've seen so many times, and focusing on Scorpion was a good idea instead of focusing on like Liu Kang.
And there's just enough. Obviously, I don't think they're going to want to like do something drastically different. They want to retell that story from Scorpion's perspective. But for people who know the lore so much, like I do, like I know those first 2 games like by heart by now. I played them so much. Changing things like having Jax get his arms torn off by Goro is an interesting touch. Because like he's not originally in the first Mortal Kombat, the original one, but he's an MK9. But he gets his arms destroyed by Ermac, right? So there are various things that keep you on your toes if you know everything about Mortal Kombat. I think the animation is solid. I think the fighting is the best part of this, bar none. Easy.
Yeah.
The animation is great. The action and the fighting in this movie is great. I love how they do like the X-rays when Scorpion is just like, or when anyone is getting impaled, or when Liu Kang's fighting Goro, you see his ribs break.
Yeah, it's like this nice neon pastel.
Yeah, it's the animation and the fight scenes are fantastic. My big gripe is I feel that there are times they focus too much on Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, and Sonya Blade, and not enough on Scorpion. So to me, the movie called Scorpion's Revenge, there's not enough Scorpion.
I do agree with that. I mean, it's weird having a Mortal Kombat movie and focusing on not the main character. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of weird. Like, I feel like you have to have Liu Kang in there because you still have to tell the story of Mortal Kombat. But I do agree.
Now, don't get me wrong. That's just a personal gripe. I like the movie a whole lot, but I feel like if you call your movie Scorpion's Revenge, and I feel like 49% of the movie is about Raiden, Liu Kang, Johnny, and Sonya, and the other 51% is about Scorpion, there's got to be more Scorpion.
No, you're right.
Throw those characters in there, of course, but give me more Scorpion.
I'm gonna say
I'm not here for the other guys.
I'm gonna say I don't disagree. Real quickly, I wanted to mention the animation. I was dealing with my cat, but the animation. I'm not crazy about the character models, but I do really like the animation. Mm-hmm. The thing about Liu Kang, Sonya Blade, and Johnny Cage, I think Liu Kang and Johnny Cage are very underserved in this movie. I don't think that they, and again, like you said, Scorpion's Revenge, Scorpion's the main character. I would have liked more with the other main characters, which Sonya Blade and Johnny Cage are main characters in a way.
Mm-hmm. But again, I don't know if we got
enough of them.
If you want the Liu Kang story, watch Mortal Kombat, play Mortal Kombat. This is Scorpion's Revenge.
I wasn't saying Liu Kang. I think Liu Kang got enough. I'm good with Liu Kang, but Sonya and Johnny, because they do kind of have the romantic subplot of the movie. I don't think there's a lot. But that's my point. Barely. Yeah. Like, why do it if you're just going to barely do it? Either take it out or put more effort into it.
I agree. And the movie's already 80 minutes, so like you can add more stuff or trim more stuff. Like, you're at that sweet animation. Like most animated movies are like the DC movies are like 60 to 80 minutes long, right? Yeah. So like there definitely was some stuff that I would have cut for more Scorpion stuff, because Scorpion is like my favorite part of this, and I came here for Scorpion. Again, if I wanted Mortal Kombat, I'd play or watch those games, but this is Scorpion's story, and I think there should have been more.
And that's all I mean. That I either do more with it or do less with it, but you just don't do anything enough with it. And it just kind of exists, and I don't think it should have.
It's just to propel the Mortal Kombat story that has to happen. That Scorpion's not there. Like they could have figured a way to focus more on Scorpion while still doing all the Mortal Kombat stuff. But I feel like maybe they didn't have enough story there.
Yeah, but I did like the characters for the most part. I think they all are solid. I like Johnny Cage, and
the opening fight scene with Scorpion and the Lin Kuei, or at least Quan Chi's deception of the Lin Kuei. That was fantastic.
It starts strong. Oh yeah.
It starts strong. Even when we see Scorpion in NetherRealm, and he just like rips himself off those chains and just kills those demons left and right. That was like, this is so freaking cool.
Spark said, I said it reminds me of like no, you said it was like Samurai Jack, but I'm like, this is like way more violent Samurai Jack, and he's like, oh, so it's Primal and Samurai Jack together. Because like during that first fight, like especially when he's in hell, and he's got like the whips and stuff, and I'm like, man, this is good. This is like, it's very stylish, and like the red blood and like the shakiness of it. I'm like,
blood on his face is reminiscent of Scorpion, which I thought was really interesting. I've complained about the R rating for the DC animated films, because some of them do go into the R rating, and I don't think they earn it. For the most part, they just kind of add a gratuitous sex scene or imply one.
Gargoyle.
So when watching this, I think this is the. Yeah, I feel comfortable saying this. I think this is the only time that they have justified an R rating for an animated movie.
Yeah,
as far as these direct-to-DVD films go.
Because like when you think of Superman, like Superman shouldn't, but he doesn't necessarily need to be rated R. He's a hopeful character. Mortal Kombat's literally about killing people. Mm-hmm. That's the fundamental basis of the game, is killing people. So you could do a PG-13 fight, but like that's not what Mortal Kombat is. It's never what it's been.
There were so many
the fact
times
that they went hard is good.
There were so many times when Fan and I were watching this movie that, like, Fan was playing Animal Crossing while I was watching it. She would look up from a game, and both of us in unison would go, "Ooh!"
100%.
Scorpion would just like rip a dude in half. When you saw this fatality, just like you see the gray matter of the brain, you see lungs and all this gore. But normally when I see gore like that, I'm like turned off by those movies. But for some reason, I don't know if it was the animators or the fact that it was an animated movie or the fact that it was Mortal Kombat. I knew what I was getting myself into. I'm just like, gimme. I want to see I want to see this violent. I want to see like one of my favorite parts is when Scorpion it's in later in the movie like when the Black Dragons surround Johnny, Liu Kang and Sonya, and Scorpion shows off his spear.
That's so cool.
And then he just like shoots a spear. It spears 3 dudes, brings them back like a shish kebab, and rips their heads off with their spines.
Yeah,
it's brutal. We're just like, this is effing cool.
Sparks, you haven't said anything yet. Did you want to add? What did you want to add?
Yeah, I don't really agree with anyone about the balance of the main characters and Scorpion. I thought it was totally fine.
I just wanted more Scorpion.
I understand that. I just think that telling the story of Mortal Kombat 1, I don't know how you can do that in a way without, I think, incorporating Scorpion into scenes where it almost doesn't make sense for him to be. I thought they already pushed... But I mean, it still gave plenty of Scorpion's perspective on things. It still opens with him. It's still telling a story that ultimately ends in him being the person who decides how the Mortal Kombat tournament ends. Yeah. He surrenders the I'm trying to think of the specific word, but he surrenders to Liu Kang so that he can fight Quan Chi, because that's what it's really about in its overall arching story. But you're still telling the story that happened during Mortal Kombat, so you still have to have those main people there. Yeah. But Scorpion's not exactly a conversationally engaging character with the others, so I don't know how you can implement him into a lot of those other moments that are necessary to tell the story from Mortal Kombat 1. Yeah. With it not feeling like it's working against his character. I 100%
agree with that. I just, when I go into this movie with a movie that's supposed to be about Scorpion, I just, again, like, I don't think the movie's bad. When I'm expecting more Scorpion, I don't get it. I don't think that's a negative.
Well, I think there's something to be said about characters that are like Scorpion, that have done, like, movies that have done this, have used characters like Scorpion as the main characters. Like, I'm thinking about Dredd.
John Wick doesn't talk that much.
Well, John Wick, sure, but like, I'm supposed to be speaking about Dredd because unlike John Wick, Dredd has a sidekick character that does basically the talking for us. Yeah. And I don't think you can give that to Scorpion. So I'm not sure I'm agreeing. I don't know which one of you I'm agreeing with, but I just wanted to say that perspective of, like, look, there is that kind of balance, I think, that can be struck.
Look, I think that we get more expositional work with Scorpion than any of the other characters, and I enjoy it. And I think that Scorpion has predominantly the most action scenes, and they're really good. And I think if they'd pushed it for too much more without the variety of the other characters, it would have become oversaturation of his action scenes. So I think that it does still feel like it's about Scorpion, and it's about Scorpion's overarching story in relation to the Mortal Kombat story from the first game, but it's not overly dominating with him to the point where it just becomes, you're just watching Scorpion do the same stuff over and over. And that's why I feel like the balance is fine. I don't feel like we spend too much time with the other characters. I feel like they're executed for the most part fairly well. I really like that they even found a way to work in that moment where Scorpion is amongst them and Johnny Cage gets in between them. He's like, did anybody declare Mortal Kombat? Cool, we can all hang out. And Scorpion's part of that engagement, which ultimately leads to him helping them fight the Black Dragon. It didn't feel like it was paced out wrong to me. It all worked fairly well.
I love it.
Do you remember there was a Mortal Kombat short film that inspired Legacy? Like, they were able to make Legacy because of the short film.
I watched all of it. I don't remember what it's called.
I think it's Mortal Kombat Rebirth.
Yes.
But I wanted to bring that up because Scorpion is the main character of that also. Mm-hmm. Like, he's I think it's interesting that whenever people try to make, like, new Mortal Kombat stuff, Scorpion ends up being the character that try to make the main character. So
even though Liu Kang is the hero of Mortal Kombat, Scorpion and Sub-Zero are the face of the games. They've always been. Scorpion more than anyone. So, like, it makes sense why they would put him as the lead of other things. It makes sense.
Yeah. I was just going to say that what I do think I could have done with more of is just the sense, even if we're not necessarily seeing a lot of it, the sense of Scorpion searching for Sub-Zero on the island.
Yeah, I feel like...
Because Sub-Zero kind of shows up as an afterthought, which obviously he isn't for Scorpion. So I wish that had been more prevalent. Yeah. That's really the only major sticking point I have is that.
Hold up, Brett, if I may. I would feel like my second biggest gripe is the fight between Scorpion and Sub-Zero was either way too quick and there wasn't enough meat on those bones. I feel like they could have expanded that.
I know, I saw that X-ray. There's a lot of meat there.
Okay, I see what you did there, Brandon. I see what you did there. But I feel like because when Sub-Zero shows up, Scorpion just goes in his rage and he fights and kills Sub-Zero like that. Whereas in Mortal Kombat 9, there's a little dialogue between them. It's like, I did not attack you. I didn't do this.
The revenge was so fast, yeah.
Yeah, the revenge happened quick, and then it's all of a sudden Quan Chi pops up after essentially Scorpion impales Sub-Zero, and he's all like, it was me, suck it, ha 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 ha, troll. And then
Mag says, true, and some lore of Jackson Sonya versus Kano and betraying Country. Yeah. I do think that there is I think that you're absolutely correct, Sparks and Ben. It may not be a big moment for the movie, Scorpion killing Sub-Zero, but it should be a big moment for Scorpion. And we don't necessarily get the sense that it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is one sticking point that I feel is weak. But I really do like the reveal that Quan Chi was pretending to be Sub-Zero.
Yeah. I like Quan Chi's whole deal.
Yeah.
I love Quan Chi.
There's a brutal tragedy to it, and I really hope they make another where we get the follow up on like him having killed Sub-Zero wrongly.
Yeah.
And
then we get to see Sub-Zero become Noob Saibot, who's a cool shadow monster. Yeah, I love it. I will say, I thought for sure we were gonna get like Scorpion's like origin of how he became Spear Scorpion Man, and when he was strung up, I was like, this is how we learn how he gets spears inside of him and stuff. And then it just cuts to him full costume, spears in hand. I'm like, we don't even see how he gets a costume. Yeah. There's always like the superhero suit up or whatever. And like, I know this isn't a superhero movie, but I was like, this is supposed to be the origin of Scorpion. We don't get to see the origin of Scorpion except for the thing everyone already knows about Scorpion is that Sub-Zero killed his clan. If you know Mortal Kombat, that's history. We all know that already. So I was waiting then to show how he becomes Scorpion, and then he's just Scorpion.
I just assumed that Quan Chi did it. That Quan Chi just made him that. Yeah. But I don't know that I needed to see that because Quan Chi says like, you go and be my champion, and then the next time we see him, he's so there now he can just shoot spears from his hands, and now he has a flaming head. Yeah, I mean, like that feels like what Quan Chi did for him, and I do think that like the motif is inspired by what he does to kill the demons, getting to Quan Chi in Netherrealm, which is a dope moment where he is whipping it around. It's just like, okay, I'm gonna take what you're working with here and make it this. I just like wish they would have said something, you know.
I do think that the moments when we see like the classic Scorpion moments, like the get over here and the ripping off the face, and I think those moments are very well earned, and I like the fight with Quan Chi a lot.
I was so happy that throughout this entire film, because I was wondering, because obviously they had to put it. I was actually laughing like during the opening animation with Daffy Duck walking around, and then Scorpion just grabs him by the neck and says, "Get over here!" I like that. Yeah. I like that a lot. But I was sitting there wondering, is like, when are they gonna put the get over here? Because you obviously, when you have Scorpion, you have to have the get over here and the flaming head. That's his fatality. And I'm really glad that they didn't overuse it. And when he finally does say "get over here," it's kind of like that. Yeah, he finally said it moment. That it pays off the whole movie, and it was just fantastic. We
get two fatalities in one. He does the spine rip, and then he does the head thing. I'm like, we get 2 for 1, baby. I know
that. I really like that. Go ahead, Ben. Sorry, what did you say?
No, I was saying when he rips Quan Chi's head off, throws it down, reveals his Ghost Rider, his flaming head, burns him alive. And one part was I was kind of hoping that Shang Tsung says fatality or something like he did in the original 90s film. But at the same time, I'm like, no, I'm cool with just like Scorpion just murdering Quan Chi right then and there and just walking around and just like, okay, I did it.
I think Shao Kahn has a has a case against Raiden about the Mortal Kombat because on a 1v1 battle, Liu Kang versus Goro, another combatant intervenes.
Oh yeah.
So I think he's got a case to be like, excuse me, but I love how Scorpion kills Goro. I think that's a really cool moment. And you see the face still there, and you just see this face still there. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, I love that this movie was like, it was allowed to go as rated R as it wanted to. Like, if we're gonna make a Mortal Kombat anime, let's make a Mortal Kombat anime. And they went for the violence.
I also really enjoyed Shang Tsung in this one.
I like all
especially
the
when he's already on to Quan Chi and he's like,
Yeah, he pours the drink out. Yeah.
Yeah. I think all the villains are great in this. I like them all.
Yeah.
I really like Joel McHale as Johnny Cage. I like him a lot.
Waiting for clips of Ninja Mime. Yeah.
Dude, if they put Ninja Mime in that live action movie that's coming out next year, I'm
I really like the kind of the reveal that Johnny Cage. We as fans know that Johnny Cage knows martial arts, but like nobody else does, like Stunt Doubles. And then like this reveal, like
we also really like that moment where it's just holy shit, Johnny Cage can fight.
Yeah. Because he kept saying I actually really enjoy how Sonya is like just takes no shit, constantly kicks Johnny Cage in the nuts over and over again. But also,
both nut shots are really good.
But when Johnny, I remember it was like Johnny's like when they're fighting the Black Dragons, Johnny's like, I can fight, and Sonya's like, no, sit your ass down, you ain't gonna do jack shit. But when he comes in and she's like, oh, he can.
Dude, he's got legs for days. He's just kicking like it's crazy.
It's like you could obviously see her respect for Johnny Cage go up through the roof, and she's like,
okay, I get Liu Kang's bicycle kick.
You do.
He's Bruce Leeing so hard in this movie.
Yeah.
I love it.
He even throwing a Bruce Lee joke in there too.
Yeah.
I really like the designs of the characters, but specifically Sonya Blade and Katana's updated outfits.
Yeah. Katana looks dope.
Much better.
Like it still reveals some skin, but not in like a disgusting way.
There's another thing with like Katana. She's in it for like a minute.
Yeah. She does the fight that she does with Liu Kang from the movie, and then she's gone.
Yeah, like I don't know if you need that there, but I mean, Sparks' point, I guess, like you do, but I don't know.
Here's what I'm curious about: if they make a sequel, do they make it from the perspective of somebody else? Because
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because like Katana is a major part of MK2, and she's only in this one for literally 30 sequends.
So if really did it. Sub-Zero's perspective. I think that's part of the point is to kind of have it be like. For this Mortal Kombat Legends series to be able to take on the perspectives of one character per story.
Yeah.
And I like that idea. And I don't mind like the world building, like knowing that they want to continue this. That's what the Katana scene is for. But also because everybody gets their one-on-one match before everything else in the movie happens. Johnny Cage gets Baraka, which I wish Baraka was in it more, to be honest. Sonya Blade gets Reptile, and Liu Kang gets the iconic Katana scene. And I think it's fine that that's the amount that she's in. If you know Mortal Kombat, then that's plenty. And if you don't know Mortal Kombat, but you like this movie, then when you want to watch the next one, that's set up.
Exactly. Like if they do make a second one in which they do, like Katana is vital to that story because of Shao Kahn is her dad. So like they have to put her in here even a little bit just for the future. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see if they did a sequel that'd be from Katana's point of view.
Yeah. If literally anyone's, that'd be the more that I think about it, Sparks, like I think I might be hung up on thinking it was Scorpion's movie, but like that dude barely talks, so like you need other people. I thought I was gonna get something something different when it kind of is just Mortal Kombat, which is not a bad thing. And the more I think about it, I'm like,
the deviation, but the deviations I appreciate.
Yeah, I do too. Because again, somebody who knows the lore, I'm like, okay,
Scorpion, the one who kills Goro, I like that a lot.
Yeah,
because I didn't see that coming. Because I thought, oh shit,
Sonya Blade kills Reptile.
Yeah, are they gonna kill Liu Kang right here and there? But then he rips Goro's skull out of his head, and it's like, and then it's like, okay, Mortal Kombat, and then Scorpion's like, F this, I'm here for him. I'm here for Quan Chi.
I love the Raiden ominous line where he says Liu Kang, like, Luke, I thought I was supposed to win the tournament. He's like, Liu Kang, you weren't supposed to win a tournament. You're supposed to win the war. You're supposed to defeat Shao Kahn.
Yeah. He's like, you don't defeat Goro, you defeat Shao Kahn.
Like Mortal Kombat 2.
Mag says, would be interested for Robo Ninjas or invading, exploring Outworld. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. That's what those next games are.
Mm-hmm.
Getting there.
That's what the team behind this movie said for the next one is like big Outworld stuff.
Good.
Yeah, I'd be interested in this one. This is probably the most interested I've been in a Warner Brothers animated film from the director DVD department in a while.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I found it wholly entertaining on every level, and like it's got enough classic Mortal Kombat, but enough like differences for you to not always anticipate everything and enjoy it, and the way that they render a lot of the locations is really beautiful.
And next to Castlevania, I don't watch a lot of really violent animes, which I probably should because I love violence, but like the fact that again that they're allowed to put out a cartoon that looks like this, I'm like, awesome, thank you, Warner Brothers.
I guess final thoughts and rating, are we good?
I'm good.
All right, Ben, why don't you go first?
I still enjoy this movie. I mean, my gripes aside, The fighting is great. The action is amazing. We get the things as a Mortal Kombat fan, and as I said before, Scorpion's my favorite Mortal Kombat character. He's my main. I absolutely love Scorpion, and just to see this movie, just him kicking ass and taking names, it's like, oh, this is rad. I have a few gripes, but other than that, it's a solid 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoy this movie, and I think that if you want to get into Mortal Kombat and you only know the movie and maybe a little bit of the games, you're good.
Brian?
Wait, can we touch tips?
Cool.
For our audio listeners, let's touch Brandon's tip. I would give this movie, I would give it an 8. I'm very glad to have more Mortal Kombat in my life. I feel like I'm just waiting for January 2021 for that movie to come out. I just want it to come out so bad. I'm so hyped for it. I love the whole cast. And like Mortal Kombat's always on my mind because we got Basement Arcade happening. I'm glad this was great. I'd give it an 8. Scorpion rules.
Sparks?
Yeah, I'd solidly give it an 8.5. There's very little that I would change about it. I thought, I just don't think I had the preemption of believing this was entirely just about Scorpion. I knew this would be more of, Mortal Kombat 1 retold, but with Scorpion as like central character. And I feel like for the most part it achieves that. And I'm not bored at any point, even close. I find all the action really good. The animation is for the most part very fluid and stellar. There are some sequences that are absolutely gorgeous. Mm-hmm. So I'm overall very pleased. And I hope they make more.
Did you rate it already? Did I miss that?
I said 8.5.
8.5. Yeah, I agree with you. I think I agree with most of it. I think you guys have said. I'm not crazy about the character designs, but I do really like the fluid animation. I think a lot of animation with this kind of style gets a little stiff, but they aren't very stiff. In fact, multiple times they're really expressive. And I've said multiple times how much I miss expressive animation. There's sequences, especially in the beginning, when we see Hanzo fighting the Lin Kuei, when it kind of like turns into like frenetic energy animation. I really appreciate that. Would have liked more scenes there, but for the most part, I think a solid 8. I think I'm with an 8 out of 10 on that one. All right, excellent film. Really excited. Really happy we did this one. All right, so let's get into our book club. We still got more show. Strap in, Mag. I know you're the only one listening now. Strap in. This is Sparks' book club. So Sparks, take it away.
Hey, we're discussing Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1 Back to Basics, written by Nick Spencer with art by Ryan Ottley and Humberto Rambos. And I was not a huge fan of Dan Slott writing Spider-Man, so when Nick Spencer was finally able to come on and take over the Amazing Spider-Man title, I was just super stoked to have somebody else doing it. To have Nick Spencer doing it and doing this good of a job is awesome. I have all the issues of the run, but I'm way behind, and I needed to get back to it, and I needed to catch up, and I forgot how awesome the kickoff of this all was. And I cannot express how truly happy I am that the first issue is all about Peter coming to recognize that he needs to be with Mary Jane. That was so important to me, and such a sticking point of like, just the title of this is such a back to basics. Let's get back to what Spider-Man is supposed to be about. Is such a like, this is where I want the story to be. This is the stories of Spider-Man I want. And man, is it good. So,
did you read any of Nick Spencer's Superior stuff? Superior Foes? The Spider-Man book you did before this?
Yes.
Because that book's sensational.
Yes.
If you guys would like this book, like this dude he's Spider-Man's his favorite character, and he's been trying to write it since before he could. And he was writing Superior Foes, which is a villain team-up comedy book that's exceptional. And then he did Captain America, and people hate that Captain America stuff except for us. And then he got Spider-Man, and now he's in heaven.
I think it's very impressive how Nick Spencer is able to, in just one issue, and off of Dan Slott's run.
Oh yeah,
without like completely like discrediting anything, but be like, hey,
he didn't guys who love any of it.
No, he didn't. But he did go like, we're going back towards what Spider-Man was before all that happened.
And I love
and the way he does it is really
so
good.
I was worried because Dan Slott wrote Spider-Man for 10 years. I will not say I don't think all of it is bad. Kind of like you.
I don't think all of it is bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
After Spider-Verse is when it got bad. So half of his run is bad. But after Spider-Verse, he should have left. But anyway, the stuff that he did with Peter, I actually thought was really interesting. It's not what everyone wanted, but I don't want my Spider-Man to be broke his entire life. I think character evolution is smart and good sometimes. So the parts when he was a genius scientist in earlier his run, not at the very end.
Yeah.
But the stuff with Horizon Labs, I really liked. The stuff with Otto Octavius was really good. So the fact that all of that still comes around full circle, that all the stuff that Otto did as Peter is still real, it's still canon, and it actually is ruining Peter's life because now he's Peter Parker again and not Dr. Octopus. I love that. I love it.
That was one of the things.
Still sticking it to him even after all this happened to him.
That's what I really liked about this run, and just immediately when they're just like, oh yeah, I did go back to college, I got my whatever, but then they're just like, no, this is a paper I wrote, but Otto Octavius was in my head when he did it.
Yes.
So it's like he doesn't have the graduate degree anymore. So it's like, oh, that's a really cool idea.
Because he's a liar.
Yeah,
There's something. Go ahead, Ben.
The fact that because when I started reading this and it was like Peter's like he's a science editor of the Bugle, things are actually looking up for him, and I'm like, okay, cool. But then just to see it all fall down and just see it all crumble before him, it's like, ooh, that sucks.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good way to yes and off of this, as we've talked about in relation to comic canon and lore.
Yes,
but something else that really works for me is just this Peter Parker sounds like. Hey, Luna. Baby. Luna, sorry.
Hey, baby. Anything can happen on a live show.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll keep it going.
Yeah.
I really liked that at the end of this issue when he's talking to when he's talking to basically the audience, and then it's revealed that he's actually talking to MJ, and he basically confesses like, no, MJ, it's always been you, it always should have been you. We should like, I don't know what the canon is. Does Peter Parker know that Brand New Day happened? Does he know that he made a deal with the devil to lose MJ, or does he not?
No, yeah, he's like he's the only one who knows.
Okay, so he does know. So because there's a shot when he says it feels like there's something missing, and there's a shot of her hand, getting the impression that the wedding ring is missing. And I really like that shot. And I've not read Brand New Day. I don't know what the canon has been since then. If he like conveniently just thinks that something weird happened and we all broke up. I don't know. I didn't know if he remembered that he was one time married to her. If it does that, it's a whole nother layer to that I really like.
Yeah. What I was going to say before my dog barked is I think that it just so very clearly off the bat sounds like Peter Parker talking to me.
Yeah.
Slott never really got there for me. When Peter Parker would do the narrations and things, that never really truly felt synonymous with the Spider-Man I've come to know in comics, or the Spider-Man I've come to like. This isn't me entirely shitting on his run. I'm sure there are exceptions. I did not read all of it, obviously. But there's something where much as others would say the same thing about the New 52 Superman and how that didn't really speak to Superman for them, that didn't feel like Superman, didn't sound like Superman, that was Slott Spider-Man for me. And this doesn't feel that way. This feels very much in the opposite direction. This is like, oh man, this is so true to the character, and not just Spider-Man, it's true to Aunt May, it's true to MJ. These feel like the characters I know. Kurt Connors, I love the execution
the Lizard
of Kurt.
finally gets to be a character instead of just Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde for 50 years.
Yeah.
Like, that's all the character has ever been. It's like, oh, I can't control it. Now he's like, I can't control it. I'm a lizard man. Deal with it. I love it. He's teaching college.
Gosh. I was so happy when Peter walked into the classroom and he saw Kirk Connors as a lizard. And he's like, hey, hold up. And he turns back into Kirk Connors. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, that is really cool.
Yeah, I like all the villain work, but the stuff that I think is really interesting is the split. When he's split down the middle, essentially, between Spider-Man and Peter Parker. One gets the science know-how, and Spider-Man's got all the powers of Spider-Man without the responsibility, and then Peter Parker.
Spider-Man, none of the responsibility.
Yeah.
He's riding the Tri-Sentinel. He's like, yeah, like a
the Tri-Sentinel thing was really cool, though.
Hell yeah, baby!
But I like that it's also not a demonized message about it, of like, like Spider-Man with the powers and without the responsibility is all bad. And then like when he's re-merging with Peter, he's like, hey man, like I understand we're carrying weight about some shit, and that's why we feel responsible
Yeah.
for things. You can have fun too.
Yes.
You can
Yeah.
enjoy being a superhero too.
It's a learning experience for both sides of Peter.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah, I really like that.
I think Nick Spencer gets the comedy. Like, he's a great comedy writer, but like his Peter Parker is so funny.
Yes.
And like is Robbie Robinson? Is that his son? His
Randy Robinson.
Randy Robinson. He's like, Peter, it's Tuesday. Don't you have class? And he's like, no. He's like, you have class on Tuesday. You know what day it is? And he's like, other Tuesday. You know, like there's some really great.
He has a press conference that he's got to go to, and that's where he loses all the respect from his peers. That was such a tragic moment, and it sucks because it's classic Peter. It's like I can't tell people why this is the way it is.
It feels right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like
there's a great line. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, the second that what's her name calls Peter to the stage, I'm like, because like, hey, here's the thing about plagiarism, and also I want to call Peter Parker to the stage. And like, oh, this is just.
I really like how they're just like, people can plagiarize in so many different ways now. You can go to a different parallel universe. You can like
this
find
kid
a
who sold his soul.
version of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a kid who sold his soul to Mephisto to get a higher.
Kid who sold his soul to Mephisto.
I have so many lines that I took pictures of. There's a line when Peter got fired from the Daily Bugle, and Robbie's like, "We're gonna need you to clear out your office," and somebody's taking away his chair, and Peter's like, "Not my sexy chair." He's like, "It's the Bugle's sexy chair now, son."
And a couple pages later, it's just he's on the chair. It's like, I heard everyone. Well, maybe not everyone. This chair is good. He's on the chair.
There's a minor Mysterio fight where like Mysterio tries something new.
I love Mysterio being the bad guy.
That's the best part of this whole first issue. When he's just like, I'm gonna probably kill the Tunk. Tunk.
There's a great "Bye Felicia" line, the Black Cat. He's like, I hope that's not my final joke.
Oh, I love that. The second he goes, he's like, I'm either gonna save the day or I'm gonna die a horrible death. Either way, bye Felicia. And he's like, oh god, please don't let that be my last joke.
When he
just him slamming onto Mysterio's ship and just like tunk tunk tunk, and just Mysterio turning around just.
And Mysterio's whole bit after that of just being like, I figured just go for it. Yeah. Just get them all in one go.
And this is so good because Spider-Man's dealing with this like personal trauma, and then Mysterio's like, I just want to try something different. I feel like I was in a rut. And then that Spider-Man's like, that's me. I'm in a rut. Like, so good.
And then when Spider-Man swings away, Mysterio's like, hey, put a good word in for my hearing.
Yeah. Can we please talk about the standout characters? It's Black Ant and Taskmaster.
Oh, God.
Taskmaster, anytime Nick Spencer writes Taskmaster, it's a win. It's a win in my book. That dude is too funny. I can't handle it.
Yo, so is that your face or is that a mask? Because I heard that like something bad happened to your face.
What'd you just say to me? And he's like, nah, cool. Don't say that. He's sensitive.
Oh, even the interrogation scene where that one is like, hey, where's S.H.I.E.L.D.? S.H.I.E.L.D. was like, listen anymore. Oh, we're going to have fun.
On a similar note, can we talk about the Ringer and the other guy who are invading the like garage sale bookstore?
Oh god!
And Spider-Man catches them, and then he gives them books, and they're like, "For us," and it's like, man, that guy seems like he's in a really positive place right now.
Oh my goodness! Oh yeah. Wow, he seems like in a really positive place. Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, so good.
This book is. I'm definitely. It's all on Marvel Unlimited, even though I have like the first 3 volumes that I bought because I was buying them when they're coming out.
Right.
I'm definitely continuous because once issue 30 pops around, that's when Patrick Gleason is on board for art.
Yeah,
that's on Marvel Unlimited now.
Yeah. I just moved right up to my list of like catch up now, right next to the X-Men books, because I'm like, yes, I need to be caught up. I forgot it's so good.
And at first, because every issue starts with 2 pages of Kraven stuff. In the first couple issues, I was like, this is kind of, it's just setting up whatever. But then you realize that the stuff with Taskmaster is involved with Kraven.
Yeah.
And you realize all these slowly comes around at the end of the arc. It's like, now it's setting up for Kraven. I'm like, oh, it's good.
I had a feeling we were going to see Kraven because every time we got to those 2 pages of that guy hunting that elephant in Africa, I was like, the Kraven's got to show up. And then it would just cut away to the rest.
A big deal very soon.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. I want to touch on Mysterio's whole courtroom bit.
Oh god,
which is awesome. That the whole him defending himself and then falling apart into that hellscape of bugs with the guy who is clearly like being built up as a big prominent threat. I believe it's the Kindred.
The Kindred, okay.
Yeah.
He's a great design.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was terrifying. How just like she just starts vomiting bugs.
I'm so pumped about that. I also really love the tidbit about Mayor Fisk, who's just trying to praise and accolade Spider-Man while condemning every other masked hero to make Spider-Man be hated by the other heroes. And so when the defenders are there and they see him, they're like, "Oh no, not this guy."
And that was really cool for me because I really like that Daredevil run. I think the Daredevil run is really great when he becomes mayor. So like having that kind of flashback, I was like, "Oh yeah, he's the mayor."
Just the fact that I was wondering what was wrong with Spider-Man, how everyone was like just looking at like when the defenders when Spider-Man swings in and they're like, "Ugh, you." I'm like, "What did he do? He's your friend." Like when Johnny's like, "He doesn't like you." I know. I don't like it either. I was like, okay, is he referencing Star Wars or does he actually not like it? Because I thought Giant Storm.
He's doing both.
Because I'm like, I thought Giant Storm and Spider-Man were like bros.
You gotta remember, there was a whole like period where Dr. Octopus was Spider-Man, and like
I mean, they bring that up, but I never read that run, so I didn't know exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So
there's one line that I really like when the Peters are split, and Peter's like, "You're causing thousands of dollars of damage around the city," and he's like, "Who cares? That's what damage control is for. Is that what you want, Peter? For other people to lose their jobs because I'm not doing my job?" And I'm like, "Damn, Peter, you're right."
The Tri-Sentinel that he reprograms and spray paints a Spider-Man face on.
He has a spider.
So
sentinel.
dope. Yeah, the spider bot.
My spider bot.
And then just Mendel Strom pulled out of the woodwork to be the guy behind the Tri-Sentinel.
Is the Kindred bad guy? Is he getting those Sentinels from alternate dimensions or just from around the world?
I am not sure.
Because it looked to me like they were popping in from a different reality.
That's what it looks like to me too. I don't think they were just sitting there because Mendel Strom would have just had.
They had like things behind them. Like I think the Kindred is maybe like an intergalactic, like multi-dimensional asshole.
Yeah.
Multi-dimensional asshole.
Yeah.
Good, I like that.
Business card.
Anything else you guys want to add, or should we get out of here?
I just want to reiterate that I really like the way he's writing Peter and Mary Jane coming back together, where Mary Jane is acknowledging that like what she loves about Peter is the fact that he's still Spider-Man. That's what keeps her coming back to, is because she knows that's part of who he is, and he can't be something other than that. I'm like, thank you for fixing the problems.
When it's just when it's normal Peter and MJ realizes like, it's the full you with your responsibility and your carelessness sometimes is why I love you. So like, you can't just be a human. I love that you're reckless and you're a spider.
Guys, I don't care what Dan Slott or Marvel ever said. Peter and Mary Jane are the Marvel Superman and Lois Lane. They're not supposed to not be together.
Yeah.
I agree.
The editors upstairs have this weird thing on both sides where like characters can't be married because like it ruins stories. Like, bro, no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
What's no difference than being in a relationship and being married. They're still together.
I think Parks and Rec proved that you don't need to break people up to add drama.
Yeah.
Or that character growth can happen. Because Parks and Rec was one of the first TV shows to have two characters be married and have it not be a major plot point that they're going to break up or they got marital problems or whatever.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
April and Andy, right?
Sure.
Oh, yeah, April, Andy, and also even Leslie and Ben.
Okay, them too, yeah.
I didn't want to say that in case I didn't want to say that in case Sparks hadn't seen it.
Oh, that's an early season.
I'm not paying enough attention to those facts.
Okay.
I really like the way Nick Spencer's writing everyone, but I really like how he's handling Peter in this like next maturing growth of himself and his relationship with MJ. And I really, really enjoy everything that happens in this whole arc. I like the message behind him related to the split. I love what he's doing with Kirk Connors.
Yes.
It's all stuff to be excited about. The Kindred stuff is stuff to be excited about. I know down the road, because I've read a bit further than this, I know there's stuff with Jameson that gets real good that you guys are going to want to check out. I highly encourage you to catch up on this run. Nick Spencer's killing it.
Yeah. I gotta say, like I said earlier, when it was called Back to Basics, I was really scared that it was just straight up just going to be, we're just going to forget everything. And it's just going to be, oh, I'm broke again. I can't be responsible. And like, once you're 30 years old, like you got to grow up a little bit. So I'm glad that it is doing back to basics, but he is still evolving as a person and he can still get a job. He doesn't have to be broke his entire life. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like after a while, you're a smart guy, Peter. Come on, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm glad that like we're at this stage now. We're like, cool. We're evolving. Everyone's evolving.
Last time I saw Peter, and this is about a year or two after this run started, in Spider-Gwen and Ghost Spider. He's a professor at the school.
Cool.
Yeah. So I think I'm excited to see how that.
Glad he was doing that before. So
yeah.
Get it back at it. Hell
yeah, exactly. I'm very happy about it. I think Nick Spencer is exactly the right person right now to take Spider-Man into the future.
100%.
Okay. Ben, it's your book next week. What do you got?
We're going to keep the Marvel train rolling with House of M.
Nice. House of M.
Ben.
What did you say, Ryan?
Who's the creative team, Ben? That's important.
Hold up. Let me get my book. It's down here. I forgot to grab it up.
I'm just saying, man. People make books. They don't come out of nowhere.
I know they make books.
They don't?
No. I can just tell you because I know it.
All right, tell me because you know it.
It's Brian Michael Bendis and Olivia Copio.
There we go.
I wasn't sure on the artist.
All right, so guys, House of M next week. Check that out.
This House of M was one of Marvel's big. This is not obviously their first big event, but this was the first huge event that turned them into the seasonal event thing. House of M is the first real big one to do this, where we got Civil War and Secret Invasion. So this is the big one.
All right. So next week we don't know. We'll talk about it, but we don't exactly know what we're talking about next week. So stay tuned for that. Okay, guys, that'll do it. So, if you guys want to check out more stuff from us, we have a YouTube page. You can check out our YouTube page. Link in the description there. We have shows Fake Nerds Watch, which we've done. Fake Nerds Watch of Star Trek Picard, Watchmen, Something, many, many more. The Boys,
Stranger Things.
Don't
say the D one.
What?
Don't say the D one.
The D one?
Dark Crystal.
Oh, you said it.
Yeah, you said it.
Dark Crystal, maybe someday. Basement Arcade, which is continuing to go with Mortal Kombat. You guys want more Mortal Kombat? Check out our Basement Arcade series where we're going through Mortal Kombat 9.
There might be some more Basement Arcade in the future when schedules open up.
Well, I hope so.
This is my last real heavy week for school. All my finals are pretty much coming up with the exception of 2. This week. So once I'm past this, I'll have a lot more time to dedicate to reading comics, to playing games, to all that kind of stuff. So we're talking about Basement Arcade after that.
Very cool. Okay, guys. If you also wanna help the show, we have a Funko affiliate code in the link in the description. Use promo code SHOP10 for 10% off your purchase. Just click the link in the description. Buy your Funko Pops. There you go. Yes, there are plenty of Funko Pops over there. We also have Patreon. Thank you, Joey's on for subscribing to our Patreon. We also have a TeePublic. TeePublic, by the way, is selling masks now. So if you can, I've activated some of those masks. So if you want a Fake Nerd Podcast mask, go right ahead. Support the show. Link in the description for both of those things. Or you can find all these things on our website, which is also in the description, fakenerdpodcast.com, for everything Fake Nerd Podcast. Thank you to everyone who listens. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you to those who are in the comment section for this live video mag. The Comic Book Spot, Just Rican. Thank you for popping in. And anyone else who is silently watching, we know you're there. We can see the counter.
Silent but deadly.
Thank you to Jeremy Vellucci for our interim music. So if you're not listening to this, if you just watch the live stream, listen to the musics on our iTunes page. Just go up after that. You can find him at Instagram at Jeremy Vellucci Keyboards. He also has a show, Suburban Proctologist. 9th episode is up now, and he just did a YouTube page, and he's working on a Patreon. He's getting stuff going.
Hell yeah!
So check that out all on iTunes or Facebook.com/Suburban Proctologist Official. Instagram at Suburban Podcast. Mike Patola, thank you, Mike. Thank you for doing Mike's Possible Trivia Challenge once again for Mainframe Comic Con. That was a lot of fun. Now that we know we can do it with this setup, we may be doing some more in the future, so stay tuned. You can find him at Mike Matola. Twitter, we are all on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all at Fake Nerd Podcast, fakenerdguys@gmail.com. If you'd like to get in touch with us personally, I'm at BT McClure on Instagram and Twitter. Marks.
Hey, you can find me up entirely on Nick Spencer's awesome, amazing Spider-Man run at Sparks Witty on Instagram and Twitter, SPARKZ Witty. Also driving myself crazy with schoolwork.
Ben.
You can find me out on the internet at BenMaggot27 on Instagram and Twitter. You can also find me writing for Old School Gamer Magazine. I swear my Final Fantasy article is going up tonight. It's done. It's ready. It's going up tonight after I get some food in me. And also, I'm doing a book club with Downright Nerdy for Dragon's Wrath by Richard Lippin. So that's up on YouTube on Downright Nerdy stuff.
Ryan, touch tips. Okay, where are you?
Touched. Cool. I'm at DJ Tony Snark everywhere. You can find me on Twitch and YouTube, streaming video games. Beep beep board.
Subscribe to us on iTunes.
Also, weren't you just on Bored and Annoyed?
I was. We did take a week off, but yeah, I forgot. Thank you, Sparks. I did a Bored and Annoyed with all the guys that we do every Saturday. We did Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
I love that movie.
Truly one of the best comedies ever made. What a fun time. Solid 80 minutes of romp. Love it.
I wanted to do that one, but I couldn't find my movies, so I couldn't do it.
It was free on YouTube.
I had no idea. Okay, anyway. Subscribe to us on...
I kind of want to do that one too, but I'm like, I'll just bring way too much nostalgia bias to that one.
Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, rate and review, wherever you get us. We greatly appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe to this video. Make sure to click the bell icon for this video. Make sure to click on that kitty cat. No, make sure to click on the subscribe button. Did I say that? Whatever. Subscribe, like, subscribes, rate, review, stay fake nerds.
Also like and subscribe.
Also like and subscribe, and stay fakes and fake steaks.